The Eastern Region Division 5 championships between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Indian River Braves. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Mike Hauser. Instead of Bob Hintz, who is away, we are here at Hickory High School in Chesapeake, Virginia, bringing you the Group AAA Division 5 regional championships. The Phoebus Phantoms with a 10-1 record, taking on the Indian River Braves with a 9-2 record. And Bob, see, had to do it right.
You already started.
Mike?
The guy's in Vienna, Austria.
Yes. Mike? You call me Bob twice, all right?
Yep.
We have a really good matchup here. We've got a team in Indian River with 9-2 coming out into this season, 4-6 last year, taking on these Phoebus Phantoms. Phantoms only lost one game in their last 39 games.
Well, Cadillac Harris, the coach of the Braves, they've changed the team around dramatically, and they've got some athletes this year. Their quarterback has 18 touchdowns and almost 1,500 yards passing on the season, and that's really going to test the defense of the Phoebus Phantoms.
Well, in fact, you just had happen to you, which is going to be another test we were going to get to in a minute, is the win tonight is going to be a huge factor. But go out and continue if you will.
Gale force winds are going to really tell a tale, especially in the kicking game. I mean, we have to have our cameras chained down to keep them from moving. So it's really rough, and you can look at the flag out there, and it's sitting straight out, running from right to left as we look at the field. And there it is as you see it, and you can see it's a definite strong wind blowing because nothing's staying up over here. I don't think it's going to be long before we're going to have to close the windows down.
You're probably right.
The Phoebus Phantoms are really in for a game tonight. They had a game last week against the Hampton Crabbers where they just totally outmanned them, but they had to battle to win the game. They have a running back here by the name of Brandon Orr that has about 40 yards shy of 1,000 yards. So they've got almost a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,500-yard passer on this team. They have the athletes, so the defense is definitely going to be tested tonight for the Phantoms.
Well, speaking of that, we're going to go back in time. I had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach Cadillac Harris of the Indian River Braves. I'm here with head coach Cadillac Harris of the Indian River Braves. Coach, congratulations on a great season so far.
Thank you. It's been very nice to be here.
I know your team has come a long ways. 2 years ago, 4-6, or last year 4-6.
Last year 4-6.
And now you're 9-2 and on the verge of an opportunity to be the state champions.
Well, we're looking forward to play for the regional championship. That's what this game is about tonight. And we have the toughest opponent that you could draw up in Phoebus, the defending state champions 2 years in a row. And what a tremendous running back that Elin Lewis is. But we have a great one, too, in Brandon Owen, so we're going to showcase him, and we think he's one of the finest players in the country as well.
Tell me a little bit about your team, Coach. The fans over the peninsula don't know much about Indian River.
We have a balanced attack here in River. We don't believe in one thing, just running the football. We believe in sharing the football, and that means we throw the football. My quarterback has thrown for more than 1,400 yards. He has over 15 touchdowns. Of course, the wind being a factor today, that may slow us down a bit depending on what end of the goal we're on. And we feature Lord Parker, who's a kid that I think is one of the best quarterbacks in the state. And certainly we got a trio of receivers. Page is one of them, one of the best receivers that we have. And we got several. We can't really focus on one because no receiver has any real stats that make your eye pop open. But our defense is, we play tremendous defense. I think we're going to pressure them tonight, and we're going to try to get the ball out of Elin's hands a little bit.
Well, it would seem logical that if you looked at Phoebus on paper, they would be a one-dimensional offensive team. Elin Lewis over 2,200 yards. If you can stop Lewis, they're going to have to do something differently. Tell me a little bit about your pass defense in case that becomes a factor.
Well, I believe that we have two of the best corners in high school football right now, and so we're going to just see how well that plays itself out. We're going to try to pressure them enough where we pressure the run as well as the pass and get them to put the ball up, and hopefully our DBs will come down with the ball.
It would be expected that they're going to go to Lewis. That's what they've done all year. That's what's worked for them. At this point in time, you and I were talking off camera. Right. You don't try anything really different at this point. You can't change your horses in midstream.
Exactly.
You take what you got here. So how are you going to stop Elin Lewis?
Well, that's going to be the major challenge because their offensive line is so talented. I know Lewis is a great talent, but he has a talented offensive line. And that matchup with our defensive line, we're not big, but we're quick. And it's going to see who's going to win that battle.
It should be a really good one. Coach, we appreciate you taking time to talk with us tonight, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Back to the booth. How did I do that? That was pretty good, huh?
Not bad.
Now, Coach Harris has been very successful wherever he's gone. He's got a good team. They're going to give Phoebus a good battle tonight. They've got a good balanced team, and a lot of times it's really easy when you've got a team that's one-dimensional to come in and stop that one dimension. But they can't really be stopped, except there's that win factor tonight.
Well, last week the Phoebus Phantoms used another running back there, and that it threw off Hampton's defense, and it allowed Elon Lewis to really break open some big runs. One of the keys tonight, I think, is going to be the quarterback, Aaron Ward. Aaron really came of age, so to speak, in the last half of the season. He's averaging 63 yards, or 63% of his pass completions this year, which is phenomenal for high school. He's got almost 900 yards. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns, so he has the ability to open up the defense as long as this wind doesn't interfere with it, because it's definitely going to be a factor.
That is absolutely the case, and young Mr. Ward has done a good job of running this attack, and I expect he'll do a good job tonight in this game. But one of the factors you can't really put a measure to when you talk about yardage, when you talk about first downs, you talk about size, is experience, and we really haven't touched on that much. But here's Phoebus coming in 3 years in a row. They've been in this role, and this is the first time most of these kids have ever been in a playoff situation for Indian River.
Yes, they have a young team, but they have a talented team, because last year Coach D used their players a lot because of a lot of the runaways that they had. So a lot of these kids got a lot of experience playing last year in the environment of the state title run. So they know how to play it. They know what to expect. And Coach D is going to make sure that they know how to do it now. Again, I think the key is going to be Aaron Ward. It's not going to be Elon Lewis. I think Aaron Ward, the quarterback for the Phantoms, is going to be the one that will be the tale of this game.
All right, well, we had a chance to talk with head coach Bill D a little early. Let's go back in time now in that interview with head coach Bill D of the Phoebus Phantoms. I'm here with head coach Bill D of the reigning state champion Phoebus Phantoms. Bill, congratulations, another super season. Terrific ball game last week against the Crabbers.
Yeah, it was a great high school football game. It really was.
You guys played really the 2 classic high school games that I've seen in the last 10 years this season, back to back. So there was, if anyone missed those games, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, they're always pretty good matchups, you know, City, Hampton, and we're proud of both schools. And we feel fortunate and happy that we won and that we're representing the district tonight.
You're coming into this game against Indian River. What do you know about this team, Bill? I know they're 9-2. They've got a fairly balanced attack. What do you see coming into this game?
I see a lot of big play athletes. They made a lot of big plays last week to beat Lake Taylor, and I've seen enough film on them to know that they're dangerous on offense. You know, they're trying to get the ball into their hands of their playmakers and make something happen. They're good quarterback and good receivers.
Well, I saw in the stats they had 14 plays for touchdowns this year of 40 yards or more. So that just echoes what you're saying about the big play possibilities.
Yeah, you know, we got to play sound and just stay, keep them inside and, keep them in front of us.
How about your team? Everybody healthy coming into the game? We know, generally speaking, what the game plan is, and I say generally speaking because you're always going to bring a wrinkle to the game, but everybody looking pretty healthy coming in this late in the season?
We're as healthy as you're pretty healthy, so we got some bumps and bruises, but we're going to deal with them.
What do you expect from them tonight, Bill?
Well, I expect them to come out and be real emotional and real. This is the first time they've been out here in a few years in the regionals, and they're well coached, and I expect a tough ball game.
What are you going to bring to the table? Anything different? Are you just going to give it to Elan?
We're not going to change it so much. I mean, we got other people that can carry the load. I thought, Aaron did a good job running the ball last week. He handled the offense well after, a tough start with the interception. He really kept his composure. Our fullbacks have run hard. We have thrown the ball well. We dropped a couple big passes I think we could have had, last week. So, this win could be a big factor as far as throwing the ball. But other than that, I feel, Elan's the main guy. I mean, there's no secret to that.
No one's been able to stop him up to this point.
No, and we're going to keep feeding them the ball.
There's an interesting stat that I happened to see in preparing for tonight's game. Young Mr. Ward has 475 yards rushing, so he's not exactly a stand back there and hand it off all night quarterback.
No, I mean we're happy when he reading the option, and when he makes his reads and he keeps the ball, he's running the ball well, he's making good decisions. We feel like we got other guys that can hurt you.
Well, good luck tonight. 38-1 the last 39 games. Hopefully after tonight it'll be 39-1 and you'll be off to the state.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to the booth now. All right. Thank you, Tim. As I used to say, thank you, Bob. It just made sense. Tim Cole with Mike Hauser and Bob Killen here. We're just about set to have the teams meet at the center of the field. We could talk a little more about Phoebus, but Bob, Mike, we have, let me write your name right here.
That's all right. I'll be calling you Bob all night because I've been used to sitting beside Big Bob over here.
Big Bob.
Every night.
We know an awful lot about Phoebus, so there wasn't a lot of other reason to do a lot more talking about Phoebus, but it basically boils down to they have to give the ball to Elan Lewis. He has to be successful running it. Tonight's contest is brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. Let's go out to the center of the field as our officials are meeting with the team captains for the pregame ceremonies.
James, right? Bill Dozier and Captain Robinson, right? Introduce yourselves, guys. Okay, guys, a couple things here. Indian River going to call you blue. Phoebus going to call you gold. There's a lot of blue on your jerseys too, okay? So we may get it right, but we may call it wrong the first time. We'll get it right, all right? Two things I want you to take back to your team, okay? Knock the stare downs off now, guys, okay? We'll start this game with 15, all right? Here we're going to do. Congratulations, both you ball clubs, for getting to the regional championships. Great job, great job. When you hit somebody tonight, they know they've been hit. Stay out of people's faces. I don't want any unsportsmanlike. Stay out of people's faces, okay? Don't talk to the opponents. The other thing is, guys, you're running with the ball and the whistle blows, let up. You're not going to run a touchdown after the whistle blows. You got a guy wrapped up. Don't stick him on his head, okay? We had a pregame toss in Indian River. You won the toss and you elected to defer, correct? Okay. Indian River's won the toss. They've elected to defer. Okay. Phoebus, you're going to be receiving. You're receiving at the clock in, right, Captain? Okay. Phoebus, put your arm back around here to the clock. Indian River, come around here. Phoebus will receive at this end. Bring them out, guys. Have a good ball game. Good luck to you.
All right, there are the officials. Bill Dozier is your referee. George Adamowski, Mick Hartzheim, Mike Jerzeka, Pete Smith, and Dan Rickendorf are the rest of the officials for tonight's game. These officials, Mike, are from the Peninsula District, so interesting. I kind of thought they would have a neutral squad working this game, but I guess it just works out that way.
Well, I think it's normally customary that the visiting team in the playoffs brings the refereeing crew.
All right, let's take a moment right now and look at the starting offensive players for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Aaron Ward, freshman.
Elan Lewis, junior.
Lester James, senior.
Dustin Johnson, senior. Matt Wright, sophomore.
Anthony Robinson, senior.
Xavier Little, senior.
Jonathan Marshall, senior.
Garrett Powell,
Senior.
Thomas Johnson, junior.
All right, there are your Phantoms starters for tonight's game, and they will have the wind at their back to begin. So there is an advantage to deferring if you're the opponents, because they'll have the choice of the wind to start the second half. But this is a big boost for the Phantoms.
Yeah, I think having the ball to start with the wind at our back is a major win at this point. There's Elan Lewis set to receive it.
A short kick taken at the 30-yard line and spun down immediately is number 38.
28,
excuse me, not 38, but Reginald Norwood.
Yep.
And here are your starters on defense for the Braves.
Jason Riddick, sophomore.
Mark McLeod, senior.
Greg Pledger, junior.
Colin Newby, senior.
Jeremy Riddick, senior. Adam Blunt, senior. Larry Holder, senior.
Antoine Page, senior. Brandon Orr, senior.
And there are the starters for the Braves. The Phantoms will start from their 37-yard line. Pretty much a senior-laden team, Mike.
Absolutely.
Ward gives to, you guessed it, Elan Lewis. Lewis trying to get to the corner, will get a yard maybe, as the pursuit was there. And quite frankly, during the season, Lewis is more effective going north and south than he is east and west. But when he gets that corner, he's got great speed as well.
Yeah, the lead block on that play, Marcus Samuels, may be also a key in this game too. Last week against Hampton, he carried the ball a few times and kind of mixed it up a little bit. And when he was successful running the ball, it really opened up the game for Lewis.
Samuels does a great job of opening holes for Lewis, but you're absolutely right. Last week they used him very effectively against Hampton to mix it up because they used him on the quick hitter and faked the pitch. That was one of the plays most frequently effective certainly in the second half against the Crabbers. Gain of about 1.5 yards. Let's call it second down and a long 8 for the Phantoms. The wind at their back, and it's a substantial wind. A good 30-mile-an-hour breeze blowing.
There he goes.
This is Lewis, and he
almost.
He was a shoe top tackle away from breaking that for a big gain as he is stopped just short of the first down.
I don't see a yard marker. There it is. Nice run.
It's close enough for them. You just saw someone got him by the ankle, and he just
if it hadn't been for that, it would have been history because there was nobody in front of him.
He is going to be about a foot, maybe 1.5 feet short of the first down. That's my unofficial.
Well, my unofficial
my
is
neck
the
out of the
length of the football.
There you go. Oh, you have to disagree with it if you're going to say anything.
There you go. What did I tell you?
1.5 feet.
All right.
In any event, we were both on the mark as that is just shy of the first down. So it brings up a third down for the Phantoms. And the Phantoms so far have given the ball, as most everyone in the stands expected they would, to Lewis.
Look to Samuels to get this one. I wouldn't be surprised on that quick hitter.
Now, you know the Braves coached or scouted rather this Phoebus game last week against Hampton.
Oh, they were there.
They
Absolutely.
So they know they have to know that's there. Can they stop
even though
it
they played the same night as the Phantoms did, but
quarterback
keeper, and he
plenty.
got it easily.
Yeah, Ward does well. Some late contact there, but no hankies on the field yet. And you heard Bill Dozier, senior referee. He knows how to control the game. He told both of these squads, as you heard,
no messing
around.
Punches.
No, in fact, he was ready to throw a flag for the stare downs. That was pretty interesting in itself.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that, but that was pretty neat.
Either. As you watch the replay, and Ward surges to the 49-yard line, a first down for the Phantoms.
Looked like about 6 heavyweight boxers sitting out there trying to stare each other down during the pregame toss.
You know what? If you don't say anything, last time I heard, there's no harm in staring someone down. Quick hitter to Lewis.
No, that's
take that back.
That's Samuels up the middle.
Samuels with a quick hitter, and he is to about the 46-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 5. And here's the replay. Just that quick hitter. And again, the thing that you've got to take in that you can't put a measure on is how effective this offensive line is for the Phantoms.
Yeah, they're big. And like Cadillac Harris said earlier in our pregame interview with him, his defensive line is small in comparison to Phoebus in their size, but they're fast. And that reminds me a lot of the Hampton situation with Hampton and Phoebus. Hampton had a smaller line, but they were quick, and they did a very good job with their blocking assignments. So it's going to be key that's what happens tonight with Indian River.
Actually gained 6 on the previous play. A nice spot for them to the 45, and Lewis gets the call again and picks up a couple. So it's going to be third down and a long 2. Long 2, short 3.
I got it.
I'm not sure whether our director wants me to announce that, but I will mention the fact that this game is going to be seen in Chesapeake on Channel 48 as well as 46 in Hampton. That's going to depend on the forward progress as Samuel's got that forward motion going, and it's going to be very close to the first down. Watch this replay. I believe he's gotten it.
Yeah, he's got it. Got it by about the length of the football. Yeah, this game is also going to be broadcast for the Chesapeake TV cable station 48. They will be getting the feed from us, and more than happy and glad to let them enjoy it because I believe they're over doing the Lansdowne, the other Division 6 game.
Got the first down just by the nose of the football. So they move the chains again as the Phantoms, those of you in Chesapeake not familiar with the Phantoms, but I will tell you that they are a ball control team. Last week in beating a previously undefeated Hampton, they were able to completely dominate the time of possession in that game.
It was almost a 3-1 margin. They held Hampton to 36 total yards rushing in that game.
And Phoebus ran 71 plays in that game, just to give you an idea as well. Ward will do some play action, wants to throw, and getting a lot of pressure, had to throw it a little sooner than he might have wanted to.
That was intended for Samuels out on the flat, and he got grabbed by the back of the collar and was being pulled down as he let go of the ball, so he had a hard time getting rid of that. We also want to thank Martin Oliver. He is the athletic director here at Hickory High School for his cooperation in allowing our crew to set up early like we did, and great host. Is excellent looking facility they have
it's
here.
Superb. Yeah, this is a super place. If you're trying to figure, if you didn't come to the game, this is the high school that they built over the years on 168 on the way to the Outer Banks. Second down after little or no, and that was flare pass to the near side intended for Lester James. And again, even with the wind at your back, the wind is gusting so much, Mike, that I think this is going to be a big factor in the passing.
The wind
game.
actually blew that ball over him.
Yeah, it's
Defending
tough.
on the play was number 7.
I'm going to tell you,
River. That's the quarterback, Lloyd Parker.
Yeah, Coach D is going to want to show the pass to keep the defense honest. You can't allow the defense for the Braves to stack 8 men on the line all the time.
And they're stuck in a long 3rd and 10 now, too.
Yeah, this is the problem with passing and not doing it. Swing pass to Lewis, and it just a little low and couldn't quite pick it up. I'm not sure he would have gotten the first down had he got it, but whenever Lewis touches the ball, you can never be certain what might happen. But now with the wind at their back, as you watch this replay, you're going to see the little swing pass, and he really had his hands on it. He just couldn't bring it in. He might have kind of peeked downfield just before he put it away.
4th down.
So this is going to bring on the kicking team, I think.
I think they're going to go. No, he is the kicker now. That's Jamar Whitaker, the kicker. He is the punter for them. And we sat here and watched him warm up during pregame, and he was kicking into the wind, and the ball was going 10 yards.
Well, this is with the wind at his back. So
don't be surprised to see this one go actually in the end zone.
He's going to kick it nice and high. And that gives the team a good opportunity to get downfield and to stop that ball and down it inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line.
Excellent punt.
No penalty flags on the field that I see.
About 33 yards on the punt.
And with that, we're going to show you the starting lineup for the Braves on offense.
Brandon Orr, senior.
John Ford, senior.
Mark McLeod, senior. Antoine Page, senior.
Garrett Elliott, sophomore.
Larry Morgan, senior.
Walter Pinchers, junior. Billy Grove, sophomore.
Damian Macbeth, junior.
Colin Newby, senior.
And your starters on offense for Indian River, and now they have to call a timeout for some confusion that occurred as
that's
they
rough to have to call timeout before you have your first offensive play.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well as a rule. So with that opportunity for the extra time, we're going to show you the Phantoms starters on defense.
Cyrus Francis, senior. Anthony Robinson, senior.
James Hill, senior.
Steve Friday, junior.
Devontae Lindsay, junior.
Jonathan Marshall, senior.
Travis Kadera, senior.
Stephon Moss, junior.
Lester James, senior.
And there are Bill D's starters on defense. This team 38-1 over the last 3 seasons and trying to three-peat, I guess it is, as they've won the three-peat. It's easy for me to say. I think I got some turkey talk.
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I
yesterday.
did, and I hope your family did too, Mike. All right, first down from the 8-yard line for the Braves.
There goes a flag.
And a flag already. So a auspicious beginning to the offensive attack for the Braves, as they've had to call a timeout before they snap the ball after the punt, and now a penalty flag.
It looks like the way the Phantoms are reacting is a movement, and it is 5 yards, half the distance. Well, that'll be 5. No, it'll be half the distance.
Half the distance.
From the 8. They haven't even had their first offensive play. They have a timeout and a penalty already. So
auspicious
defense hadn't had to do anything yet.
And they've gained about 3.5 yards without even touching the ball. Let's see what happens now as Ward gives in the backfield. This would be Orr, and he will get across the 5 to about the 6-yard line.
He was tackled by a whole host of players that time from Phoebus.
Brandon Orr, an excellent season for Mr. Orr, actually including the playoffs. He's got over 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. 1,003 to be exact. Got that information out of the Virginian Pilot today. And the wind is just whipping as you see our camera position, or a camera position, This is Orr again. He's got some running room. He's found the room to the near side. He's down the sideline.
Well, there's nobody to get him either.
I don't believe he'll catch him.
94 yards.
Brandon Orr burns the Phantoms defense with a 94-yard run on the right side.
Second play. Come on.
Indian River strikes first at the 7:30 mark of the first period. 94 yards. Brandon Orr talked about the big play explosiveness of this team in the pregame interviews, and there you saw the evidence.
Well, Indian River set up with their tight ends to the left and both wide receivers out wide. They left the right side wide open, and his kick is good.
It looked like it was going to be wide left, quite frankly, but not the case. And of course, the officials right underneath the goalpost can tell for certain.
Little off tackle run there to the right, and if you look at it again, watch him. Once he breaks past the line, there's no defense there. They're all on the other side of the field.
Perfect play for the defense that was in place. Brandon Orr was never touched as he raced down the right side for 94 yards and a 7-0 lead for the Indian River Braves. So now the Phantoms, who came off the mat last week, one of the rare times this season the Phantoms trailed in a game. In fact, they trailed, if I remember correctly, twice in that game.
That's right, but they threw that interception that was run back 75 yards by the Crabbers to take an early lead after they missed the extra point. They were down 6-0, but they battled back, came back, took the lead again, and we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they can do it again here.
A lot of ball game remains, obviously. Again, this kick will be into the wind. It will really end up being a very short kick, taken at the 24-yard line and returned to about the 43-yard line. So the Phantoms will again have good field position, but the last time they had the ball, they were unable to sustain a drive as the Indian River Braves were up to the task on defense. But good punt, put the Braves in poor field position, but a big 94-yard run from Brandon Orr. So they'll start again from the 43-yard line. Wide to the right side will be Dustin Johnson. The I formation with Marcus Samuels, and behind him, the tailback, Elan Lewis. Lewis gets the call, and he is horse-collared and taken down with a late flag. Might have had a
face mask there.
Might have been. He was roughly tackled. We'll see if we can pick it up on the replay.
What it is.
Can't really tell, but we'll let
That's what he gave. He's already given the signal for face mask, so that's a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of the play.
We have a personal foul, face mask against the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
So a huge play for the Phantoms here. They struggled to move the ball against the Braves on their first possession.
Well, they did,
and you just can't get free 15 yards like that.
They did get a couple of first downs out of that first play, but they stalled after getting the first and 10 and trying to throw the ball twice.
This is Samuels, and Samuels breaks into the open down to the 31-yard line.
So Brandon Orr hit him head on. Brandon Orr ended up down on the ground. Watch this. Watch him hit Orr. Boom. Down Orr goes, and then Lewis finally falls down, but they had to have help to get him down.
Ball marked about a yard short of a first down, a gain of 9 on that play. And again, that tandem of Samuels and Lewis starting to really pay dividends for the Phantoms. Didn't see much of Marcus Samuels earlier in the season.
Well, this is a 6', 200-pound senior. The boy can run.
This is Lewis trying to get to the outside. He's got the first down and then some as he gets close to the 25-yard line. So they'll stop the clock and move the chains with 6:09 remaining here in the first quarter. If you joined us late, as you watch the replay, I'm Tim Cole along with Mike Hauser and Bob Killen. That's right, if you hear a little different voice tonight, that's Mike filling in for Bob Hintz, who is on vacation in Austria.
Long ways from here.
Yes. In fact, I do understand he has his cable hooked up and is trying to get a signal, but I don't think it'll work.
I doubt it.
From the 25, again, Samuels. And this is going to be repeated time and again, and Samuels is so strong, he just dragged tacklers down to the 20-yard line, pick up a 5.
That was a nice run there.
Well,
Up the middle.
and running straight up, too. You know, a lot of times you run straight up like that, you get knocked down.
As you can see him walking back to the huddle, he's quite large. He's
a horse.
He's very large in the upper body strength.
6 foot tall, 200 pounds of real hard bot. So a gain of 5, second down and 5. Phantoms at the 20 of the Indian River Braves. This is Lewis, and Lewis is close to another first down.
Yeah, he got another 5 or 6. It looks like he's beyond the marker. But I tell you, if you take the two players and put them side by side, it almost looks like Samuels is considerably bigger than Lewis. But according to the stats here, Lewis is 205 and a shorter player, as we can see. But they got Lewis is 5'10", which would be 2 inches shorter. And I tell you what, that's about right. But he does look like he doesn't quite weigh as much as Samuels. But
another first down at the 15. Lewis gets the call, and he is up the middle. Whistle's blowing a little early there, Mike. He wasn't
even down before they started blowing the whistles.
That was odd. Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Hampton Jeep Mazda helping bring this contest to you tonight from Hickory High School in Chesapeake, Virginia. And you see the whistle's already blowing as that pile is still moving. So I was a little mystified by why they might have blown that whistle quite quickly. Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. They got that great Beantown coffee, premium Citgo gas, pizza, all kinds of good food at Zooms.
Box and
look out. Pitch goes back to Lewis. We saw that problem last week, and once again it reared its ugly head as the pitch was an errant pitch this time. This was definitely not Lewis's fault. Watch this on the replay. On the option play, Ward hit just as he got ready to pitch it back, and almost a disaster for the Phantom offense. Now they have moved to a 3rd and 13.
That was a critical play right there. But they're in field goal range, and their kicker can kick the ball from here with ease.
I know that's not what Bill D wants, but
he needs to get that 6 points.
3rd and 13. Ward, play action. Throwing, got a man open, and it's over the head of Dustin Johnson, who was at the 5-yard line. But again, that wind just really wreaking havoc with the pass game tonight, and that'll bring up 4th and 13, and the kicking team will come on. Watch this replay. You're going to see what happened. Every pass he's tried to throw has floated well over the head of his intended receiver. That time, it was no different than previously.
This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt.
Chris Schwartz, who had a field goal last week against the Hampton Crabbers. Kick is long enough.
Oh, it's definitely long enough.
And it is good.
Nice kick.
35-yard field goal by Chris Schwartz makes it a 7-3 ball game in favor of Indian River. So the Phantoms, because of the errant pitch, have to settle for the field goal. Mike, you got something you want to talk about?
Yeah, the Math Zone is back on Channel 46. Check out the new features, Teachers on the Run. Students can call in and get help with their math homework or solve the problem of the day. Tuesdays and Thursdays live at 5 p.m. on WHCS Channel 46. And also check out Channel 46 Sports website at WHCS46.sportscombine.com. You will get up to date on all of high school sports, especially in the Peninsula District.
Those special announcements, compliments of Mike Hauser.
Oh, that's compliments of
Channel 46. And again, we're very happy to be bringing this game to those of you watching in Chesapeake on Channel 48. Our pleasure, as you perhaps don't know, we do a game of the week on the Peninsula involving Hampton City Schools. And then, of course, if the playoffs become a factor, we follow them as quickly and as far as we can. Had a lot of postseason play over the last few years.
Kickoff is bouncing up the middle of the field.
And it's taken at about the 18-yard line. A nice return, just about the same starting position the Phantoms have had with the advantage of having to win at their back. Only this time they're out to the 43. So the identical starting spot for the Braves. Watch this replay. Took a high hop And then you see coming up the middle, and again, Bill will not be happy with the specials teams work on that because they do not, as a rule, give that kind of return up very often.
Well, Indian River now has a lot of room to play with now, so their selection of plays are probably going to start including some passes. They have 4 wide receivers out there now with a single back, and he's actually going in motion.
Or is in motion. Parker will be all alone in the backfield. This is a swing pass. Actually, that was very close to being a lateral. Let's see if they rule it that way.
No, he's ruled an incomplete pass. Otherwise, he'd be marking it over here on the sideline.
It could have easily been called that because what happened was Parker immediately, as you'll watch on the replay, the line of scrimmage is the 43. That ball real close. I don't know that wasn't a lateral. And obviously the fans and the viewing this game know the rule. If it's not forward, if it's just if it's perpendicular or lateral with the line or behind the line, it is a live ball, but not ruled as such.
I don't think anybody could have got the ball. It was a pretty hard shot, and it went right straight out of bounds.
Or on the handoff, and Orr is across midfield to about the Phoebus 49-yard line. So a nice effort for a gain of about 7 yards.
Well, he got almost 9 yards on that one.
Where are they marking at the 49? 8
yards.
So it's third down and 2. This is a very important down, I would think. It's early in the ball game, and certainly don't want to overstate the fact. But the Phantoms behind would like to assert themselves on defense.
With the wind to the Phantoms back right now, there's only 2:30 left in the first quarter. They need to stop them here and force them into punting the ball into the wind at this point.
Very good point. So far, Orr has the ball and looks like he has the first down. It's going to be very close, but it would appear that he got it by maybe a half a yard.
If you look at the way they have the
and here comes the rain.
Here comes the rain. That one just opened up the clouds.
That one really opened up the clouds, is right, as the sheets of rain that unfortunately had been predicted have become a reality, and it is really coming down. You can see it in your picture. There you go. There's a good shot of it. You don't even have to show the lights to see this.
I tell you what, when it started coming down, it didn't take long because it came down hard.
Yeah, Bob said it would start a half hour after the game started. He missed it by a whole 5 minutes.
Well, there's another timeout called by Indian River. That's their second of the half. Second of the first quarter.
First quarter. The playing conditions will rapidly deteriorate as a result of this rain. This is tough.
Yep. WHCS broadcasts live the Hampton School Board meeting the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30. So tune in and be informed. The school board.
You got the scoop on our crew tonight? Do you have the names of all of the victims?
It's right here in front of me.
There you go.
You want to give it out now?
Oh, we'll wait till the next time out.
Oh, man, look at the rain coming down.
And here we are in this nice, dry press boxes.
Yeah, but you got to remember, we got to hope it stops before we have to leave.
That's for sure, because I did not bring my umbrella. So the wind and the rain is just pelting the field. And fortunately, there's no lightning in the area as of yet. And I say as of yet because this is the kind of weather that can, in fact, cause that to be a case. Marcus Anderson got the call that time, number 26, or Colin Seeley, because unfortunately I have two 26s on the roster here. I'm going to assume it's Marcus Anderson because the other 26 is a kicker.
Looks like a gain of about 2.5. Second down. We're down under a minute and a half in the first period.
Ball marked just across the Phoebus 45-yard line.
And you ought to see the people trying to get into the press box.
We could sell tickets and make a lot of money.
There's a flag down on the far side.
Or tries to turn the left side.
Might be a clip or an illegal block over there. Normally that's the case when you're running to that side of the field. That usually that tight end's going to get them. Have to wait and see what the refs have to say about that one.
Hopefully, Orr now has carried the ball 4 times, not including that play, for 103 yards. Of course, 94 of those coming on 1. And you can see the rain continues to pour.
No flag. He waved it off.
So they'll pick up the yellow hanky and rule that the infraction was not such. And it brings up a third down now, and let's see where they've marked the ball. Looks to be right at the 40-yard line, just shy of the 40. They need to get to the 37, so it's about third down and 3. Almost 4. So again, check that as second. Well, they've got the marker says second, but the scoreboard says third. We'll see what it is. Parker does a good job of evading a tackler and then gets the first down. The ball
they're going to call it down. Ball came loose, but he's going to say that the field coughed it up. Came loose after he hit the field. He tried to stretch out and extend a little bit further than he needed to. He already had the first down. He
Dangerous
came real
play.
close to letting that ball go.
But it turns out to be a first down at the Phoebus 35-yard line as we are under a minute remaining now in the first period. Our score is Indian River 7 and Phoebus 3. Indian River is driving at the Phoebus 35, and the wind will be at their back in just a few seconds. But the rain is coming down in buckets. And this is Orr, and he is stacked up for no gain. Check that. Rather, that is not Orr, but in fact, that is Ashford. Andrian Ashford carried the ball for no gain.
Travis Cudera was one of the tacklers on the play. He got him pretty good.
And that will be the final play of the first period. So a 94-yard run by Brandon Orr, a 35-yard field goal by Chris Schwartz. And after 12 minutes here at Hickory High School in Chesapeake, our score is Indian River 7 and Phoebus 3. And the rain and the wind,
it is coming down.
It is.
Of course, it kind of looks funny going the other way.
Yeah. It's it is very reminiscent of what you might see during a hurricane. Hopefully, we won't have hurricane force winds. And
I think we were pretty close to that earlier.
Yeah.
If you get a picture of the flag right now, it's almost standing straight out.
Yeah. And
so the Phoebus Phantoms are going to have the wind into the face for the remainder of the first half.
Well, that could change now because, of course, what is anticipated will happen, and this could come back. The cold front comes through, the wind changes around, and the wind, you can already feel the coolness in the air with that front coming through.
We had a high temperature today. About 4 o'clock this afternoon, it was in the 70s, and tomorrow's high is expected to be in the 50s. So
low 50s at that.
This is typical of the weather of the peninsula in the southeastern part of the state of Virginia. If you don't like the weather, stick around for about a half hour. It'll change.
There you go. The winner of this contest will play in the state semifinals next Saturday.
They will host the state semifinals.
Second down and 10. And a gain of a yard or so.
Looked like Stephen Moss got a hold of him there in the backfield. And again, that was another situation where the referee was blowing the whistle before he was down. He had the player wrapped up, and it just looked like look at the rain coming down. It's starting to swirl.
Yep.
It actually looks like it's starting to change directions now.
We can pray that it's a quick rain and gets the front through here very rapidly.
As a matter of fact, if you look at the flag is now blowing directly away from us instead of across the field. So it is starting to change. So far, he hasn't thrown. This is his first throw of the game, and there's a flag.
Flag down and a completed pass for what would be a first down if the play stands up. But a penalty flag right at the line of scrimmage.
That flag was thrown way over here, completely out of the way of the play.
There you see the completed pass and a first down, but let's see if this goes against Indian River. Clearly, Phoebus will accept the penalty.
Yes, they had an ineligible player downfield. So that's going to come back. That one might get
ineligible downfield. Your 5 was covered up. We have an eligible downfield. The tight end was covered up. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains number 3.
So Bill Dozier, the referee, clearly telling us what happened. And what could be a crucial penalty because that would have given Indian River a first down inside the 25-yard line.
And now it's third down and 15.
Yep, third and 15 at the 40. So, but to the good news, the rain seems to be slacking up a little bit.
Going to bring up a third down and 16 now to the Rays.
11-13 remaining in the half. Indian River holding on to a 7-3 lead, and they've got the ball at the 40. Third and 15. Parker steps up, throws over the middle, off the hands of his intended receiver, number 21, Larry Holder. And to his credit, that was a real hard thrown ball, and it's very wet. So Holder unable to hold on to the ball, and it'll bring on the kicking team now. And again, the wind will be at the back of the Braves, and they'll hope to pin the Phantoms deep in their territory.
Now, they're going to attempt to try to kick a field goal or punt. I believe they're going to punt. That's going to be number 34, John Ford.
John Ford.
He's also a senior.
Famous director turned football player. Quick snap and quick kick, and the ball is going to carry into the end zone. So that'll benefit the Phantoms because they'll get it to the 20. And Ford just very quickly kicked, easy for me to say again,
spit it out,
and went all the way in the end zone. Of course, in high school ball, you can't return a ball from the end zone even if you want to.
Once it hits the line of the goal line, it's a dead ball. Any kick.
So the Phantoms will get the ball with the wind in their face. The rain seems to have slacked up a little bit. Easy for us to say sitting in the warm, dry press box.
See how hard it's raining. Look at the track down there.
Yep.
Even the cheerleaders have got to put rain suits on. So they disappeared for a little while, but they're back out there now.
Disappeared to put their rain gear on.
That's Samuels.
Samuels, again, with that quick hitter, got yardage out to about the 24. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 6. You're a statistician at heart here. I can see Mike over here counting the number of yards on his. Tell us about the crew, Mike.
The crew, Andy Foley. He's our graphics guru. Andre Mattingly, he is slow-mo instant replay. Don Strauss is the engineer. Ron Baton and Mike Nowinski, sideline cameras. Nathaniel Braxton and Susan Bowers sitting up on top. There they are. They're all waving. That's live, too,
That's
by
live,
the way.
yes. That's what we're told. Back to, speaking of live on the field, the Phantoms have the ball all the way out to the 33, almost the 34-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st down.
And you got John Terrell and Sarah Myers are the production assistants with Scotty Byers, our director.
Now this is Lewis carrying the ball around the left side.
One of his better runs of the day.
Yeah, that's one of the best that he's had of the evening. Absolutely right. Lewis last week against Hampton had 195 yards on 43 carries. This is Lewis again.
He was definitely the workhorse last year. In the first meeting between the Crabbers, he had a little over 120 yards on the night. And so that, by the way, is the least amount of yards that he rushed during the entire season was in the first game against Hampton. So he made up for it in the second one.
Lewis picks up 6 as you'll watch the replay again.
On the tackle, number 11, DeAndre Filler.
Lewis, earlier, you may recall, was an ankle tackle away from breaking for a touchdown, but the Braves have done a good job of at least containing him to this point.
That was Lewis again.
Lewis again will bring up about 3rd down and about 2 as he is out close to the 42, almost the 43-yard line. And again, the replay. Gang tackled as he picked up a couple of yards.
Andre Mattingly is awful busy down there tonight, isn't he?
Doing a lot on the replay. Got that joystick working. It's just like playing a game. 3rd down and 2 for the Phantoms. Need this to keep the drive alive. The wind subsiding a little bit now. Long count by the Phantoms. Ward might be trying to pull the Braves off. And we've got flags down as we may have had some premature motion.
Tony flag down the flag.
That's what it is. A false start on the Phantoms. So that'll...
Dead ball foul. False start against the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Well, that was a critical call there.
Yep. So
now
3rd down and
7.
7.
3rd down and long here.
3rd down and 7 instead of the 3rd and 2.
They haven't been successful throwing the ball at this point in time. This is a play that they're going to have to get one, I think.
Well, with Lewis, you've always got the opportunity.
A nice draw might work here, too.
Yep.
3rd and 7 now.
But they're going to need to pass the ball and complete one to loosen up that defensive back.
And now we've got a timeout, which will be the final timeout of the first half by the Braves. They had to take a timeout on their very first play on offense, and now they've burned their 3rd and final timeout here in the 2nd quarter. So the wind continues to blow, but the rain seems to have slacked up considerably. Mike, I'm trying to see In fact, I believe it might just have almost completely stopped. If we have any kind of luck at all, it'll be just some quick rain through here and be done with it as we watch some of the umbrellas in front of us going inside out from the breeze.
Well, we're going to pick a couple of players of the games tonight. I think both of them from Phoebus. One offense and one defense, and you and I guess we'll pick that later on.
Yes, we will.
Each player is going to receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World Incorporated, located in Hilton Village, Newport News. For all of your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hillian at Trophy World, 595-7354. Mention this announcement for special pricing.
Third down and long.
It was a draw.
And it is
Indian River covered that pretty good.
Yes, they did. Not going to get the first down by a long distance. So now the Phantoms will have to bring on the kicking team.
Ryan Hill for the Braves made that play. Number 16. There he is right there. Yeah. He was standing there waiting on him.
Now
they're going to have to punt the ball into a strong crosswind, as it looks like it's now blowing more towards the
far sidelines.
Yeah.
Yep. Still substantial wind.
4th and 7 now for Phoebus.
That's Whitaker punting the ball.
Jamar Whitaker gets the kick away.
Got a nice bounce on it.
If you're a Phoebus fan, it certainly did, as the ball will be downed at the 32-yard line. So under all these conditions, that was a very fine effort.
About 32 yards, I believe, in that neighborhood.
Now, but see this flag now, as we keep using that as our wind weather vane, if you will, is shifting around quite a bit. So
well, we don't have the opportunity to have the National Weather Service up here, so we'll use Old Glory for that.
Well, or Bob Killen, our statistician, told me that it was going to rain within 30 minutes of the start of the game. And
that's a typical prediction, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he got it down. Now, the rain does resume, by the way, just as we were talking about the rain slacking up. It has started to come back down. So now the Braves will have the ball starting from their 32-yard line, leading 7-3. Eastern Regional Division 5 championship game. Parker under center. This is a lateral. That is a live ball. Lateral. And that ball goes out of bounds, and that's where it will be spotted.
And it definitely got called out on this one.
Yeah, there was no question about that. That'll be a 7-yard loss back to the 25-yard line for the Braves. And if a Phantom could have gotten to it and recovered it in bounds, it would have been a turnover.
That is ruled a backward pass. The ball went out of bounds. That's his position. 2nd down.
Thank you, Bill Dozier. You're right on top of it. So it's 2nd down and 17 for Indian River now as the wind and the rain resumes heavily.
We got these umbrellas in front of us. The wind's blowing so hard, and they just blowed right outside out. They're going to end up with a puddle hanging there if it keeps raining the way it is now. They go to pull it back down, and everybody down there is going to get flooded.
Get this one guy in front of me to sit down would be helpful as well. He's trying to see the game over the umbrella in front of him.
Yeah, I guess it won't be long before we're going to end up having to stand up.
Look that way. This is or check that, not or rather, but again, that's Marcus Anderson.
Like he gets almost 6 on that one. See where they mark it.
Well, got back to just about the original line of scrimmage, but not quite.
About 3rd and 11 now, I think.
3rd down and 11 with a little less than 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
The wind and the rain has definitely changed the play-in at this point.
6 on the play. 3rd down and 11 now for the Braves.
Passing the ball will drastically change with the rain because everything starts to get real slick now.
Out of the gun, Parker trips to the near side. And the fake handoff as Parker keeps it and gets maybe a yard or a little more than that, but it'll bring up 4th down, and the kicking team will have to come on.
Well,
for
the
Braves.
interior line for the Phantoms did a wonderful job that time.
Still 4th and 11.
So it picked up a yard on the play, he did Parker, and it makes it 4th down and 10 as they get back to the original line of scrimmage. That backward pass going out of bounds was just the dooming of this series from the very beginning.
I can't see with the rain. Our window here is a little foggy. It's hard to see actually who's out there.
Got a
pretty decent punt. That one's going to come down
That'll take
right out about the 40.
Yeah, Brave roll to about the 38 as it appears now. And so the Phantoms will have pretty good field position. And again, the wind shifting around. It actually has now shifted
away from us. Yeah,
away from us. And with the backs of the Phantoms. So weather conditions we knew going into this game would be a factor, and they have not, unfortunately, disappointed us.
5:42 to go here in the second period.
Phantoms will start from their 38-yard line, trailing 7-3. Tim Cole and Mike Hauser, along with Bob Killen and the 46 crew here in Chesapeake at Hickory High School. And nothing much working there, as Lewis may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
Well, Indian River's defensive front is doing a great job holding up the line of the Phantoms. If you look at it again, you'll notice that
they're just stacking up the
defensive line is actually stacking them up.
2nd and 10 after no gain. And a reverse to Dustin Johnson, and Johnson is dropped. So the deception play in an effort to slow down that quick defense of the Braves does not work for the Phantoms and results in a loss all the way back to the 28-yard line. That one just never had a chance. And I'm trying to pick up, let it roll a little bit, Scotty. No, okay, we won't. I was going to try and pick up the young man's number that got it. Looked like Colin Seeley, or it might have been Marcus Anderson who made the stop. In any event, it brings up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 19 for the Phantoms.
If you see that piece of white paper flying around on the field, that's Cadillac Harris's game card that he's lost in the wind.
Oh, and Ward fumbles the ball and
he
got
may
it
have
back.
got it back.
So we're going to probably have to stand up or ask. I'm going to have to Bob to lean back because I can't see out of there and I can't see the monitor either. In any event, every time something happens, the people in the stands in front of us stand up, and they have a right to. They paid for their ticket, but it's wreaking havoc with us as Ward got his own fumble. So that was a disastrous series for the Phantoms, and a near disastrous series in the sense that it almost resulted in a fumble. I think that's one of the coaches out there trying to retrieve the game plans that you were talking about. It's, in fact, you see in your picture one of the coaches trotting back to the near sidelines with the wind had actually blown it out of his hands.
Well, they got a 4th down and a whole bunch here.
That's 4th down, and it says 19 on the board, but it's more like 4th down and about 30.
29.
So literally standing inside his 5-yard line.
It is about 30 yards.
And now we've got an official stoppage for a moment.
Put 4 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock.
And they want to reset get the time, but 4:10 should be on the clock, and might take a moment or two to do that. Yep. Never got around to it. So Whitaker into the wind and an oncoming rush, and the ball is blocked. The worst case scenario. That will be a touchdown for the Braves.
And I believe the young man who blocked the pass is laying flat on his face, or blocked the punt. Got to wait and see what his number is. Here they're going to show it again. Couldn't see the
number. It was it looked like number 11, but
well, they're saying it's Brandon Orr that got the block punt.
Okay. Couldn't tell from that, but I can tell you this: it's a touchdown for the Braves, as their
no
special
matter how
teams.
You look at it.
No matter whoever did it, ends up in the end zone, and I described it as a near disastrous series. It was a disastrous series from a Phantom point of view.
I think the punter took too long to get rid of the ball. Yeah. He had the ball plenty of time.
Players shake it up. We can't really determine at this point who it is. See if we're going to watch this again and see if we can.
Watch how long it took him to actually get rid of the ball. I thought he had plenty of time. See, he's got it, and then he goes after it.
I believe that might have been Orr. Now,
yeah, Tim.
That would be
Brandon
Orr.
And
let that run a little more if we can see who the injured player is.
We'd have to see. Sure. He'd have to back it up north to see who that was. And he's still down. It looks like number 11. Yep, that's number 11.
That's who it is. So that's Deandra Filer who was shaken up, and good to see him at least on his knees, and hopefully he'll be all right. But the Braves have struck again as their special team. Number 11. Number 11. It was number 10, actually, that blocked. Yeah, we're pretty sure it was Orr that blocked the punt. Scotty, can we see that one more time? Okay,
no, 11,
let's see if we can see it again.
Didn't make it.
There.
11 falls down before then.
Okay, so it is 11 that blocked it, and that's who got hurt. And then it was recovered in the end zone. We're going to replay it, and he's going to make the contact, and he ran into his own teammate. And so he's the one that blocked it. Number 11, Filer.
Okay.
Did in fact. I'm not sure who recovered it. That's the only question I have.
Number 23 now, that is Javon Beeman. He's in for the extra point.
And his extra point is good.
14-3, Indian River.
So the Phantoms have their work cut out for them as they have fallen behind now, 14-3.
This is the largest deficit that they've had this year.
And Indian River is for real, if anyone was wondering. Cadillac Harris has done a great job in turning this program around. They were 3-27 over the previous 3 years. Then last year were 4-6, and now he's taken them to 9-2 and a lead of 11 points at this juncture. But again, ye who are the faithful of the Phantoms, there's still a lot of time remaining. The wind factor continues to be just that, a factor. I think the wind played a role in some of that action as well.
Well, at least it stopped raining at this point.
It's almost like a tropical rain in that it comes in sheets, and then we will have no rain for a little bit, and then it'll come again in sheets. The Phantoms
ball falls off of the tee, so he's got to tee it up and kick it again.
Phantoms will be receiving the ball, and it will be kicked with the wind at their back.
There is a definite change in the temperature at this point, too.
Yep.
We picked the wind up a little bit so we can see out of it, and it is definitely cooling off. So that cold front's coming through. Of course, that was quite evident with that rain and wind that was blowing earlier. They're going to actually have somebody hold the ball on the tee.
Javon Beeman will kick it. Low spiral and bounces over the head of Lewis in and out of the end zone for the touchback.
Got a long way to go.
That's one way to make sure Lewis doesn't hurt you. Kick it away and through the end zone. So 3:40 still remains in the first half. The Phantoms, trying to recall if they used any of their timeouts. I know Indian River used all 3 of theirs.
I don't think Phoebus has used any. They still have all 3.
They might have all 3. The board here
they've got a lot of work to do here at this point.
Board does not show the timeouts, so we're using our best guess memory here for that. So Ward, who fumbled the ball on the previous series, only to regain the ball, keeps it, coming to the near side. Ooh. And he is hit hard as he crosses the 21-22 yard line.
He was stood straight up on that one.
One of the players, Antoine Page, was there amongst others. And the Braves really in the ball game.
Watch how he gets hit. Boing.
Yep. So gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Phantoms. And again, the field conditions deteriorating can have a factor in the running game as well. The quick hitter for Marcus Samuels. He is into the open. Lost the ball as it was pulled away from him. And let's see, I believe the Braves got it.
They did. Recovered the ball on the 40-yard line.
Had gotten a first down and had good yardage. And someone reached in and yanked the ball out, I believe.
And number 11 got
we'll
that.
See it on the replay.
Deandra Filler. Number 11
that's
for
Filer. And that's the young man who blocked the punt. So Filer has come up with 2 huge plays here in the waning moments of the first half.
That was about a 20-yard run, too, before he got yanked out of his arm.
Well, you got to hold on to that thing, but that's what we're talking about. The ball is wet. And good defensive play by Filer to jar it loose. And now the Braves are back in business, leading 14-3. Parker, under center, has trouble with the snap. And I believe the ball is on the ground.
He fumbled it, too.
Phantoms say they've got it, and they do. So back-to-back turnovers as the Phantoms recover a fumble.
I believe, is that 82 that got the ball?
I can't tell, but
Friday? See if 82 got it.
Waiting for the play to uncover. I believe that's, I can't make out who it is, unfortunately, with my.
Well, we'll give it to him. How about that?
Why don't we?
Stephen
In
Friday.
any event, that's right where they had gotten the ball.
So they go one way and then go back the other.
Right back the other. So that slippery ball becoming a factor for both teams now.
Down to 2:41, too, left in the first half.
Still got some timeouts. The quick hitter again to Samuels. You know, and that's a good call to give him the ball right back to make sure his confidence continues to be high. He's done a great job. That was just a good defensive play by Fowler to grab that ball and dislodge it. Here's the replay. As you see, Samuels picking up about 6. 2nd down and 4. The Phantoms not seemingly in any hurry. They do have all of their timeouts remaining. But so far, the passing game has been disastrous. I just don't think they want to rely on the passing game too much. This Indian River team is really ready for those plays. This is Lewis, and Lewis will pick up a couple of yards as he'll be short of the first down. Need to get right to midfield for the first down, and they'll mark it at the 48. And 3rd down and 2. 14-3 is our score. If you joined us late, the Indian River Braves on their 3rd play from scrimmage took the ball 94 yards, or Brandon Orr for the touchdown, and the extra point was good. And then the Phantoms retaliated with a 35-yard field goal from Chris Schwartz. And then a block punt in the end zones recovered by the Indian River Braves.
Oh, and I believe
and
he
that's
got
going to be right at the first down marker.
That's Elon Lewis, and he gets about two yards and maybe the length of the football.
It's just hard to deny him 2 yards. He just almost always is going to get the 2 yards for you. It's going to be close enough to measure.
He's
but
over the
Mike,
line.
he's got it by the length of the ball, or about half the length of the ball in any event. Got a player shaken up. That might be why they're actually stopping play.
That's number 51 for the Phantoms. I believe that's their center. That's Anthony Robinson.
No, they are, in fact, going to measure. But as well, Anthony Robinson. And
I predicted he got the first down.
Oh, he did get the first down. There's no problem there.
Half of the football?
That's it. So the Phantoms with 1:27 on the clock.
And again, a little bit of good time clock management here.
Well, I said we think they've still got all 3 timeouts, but they have to hurry here.
They have at least 2.
Yeah, I think they have all 3. And Ward in trouble again, gets away from a tackler. But then he is nailed in the open field on a nice defensive play by John Ford.
He needed that block by the wideout.
And ends up getting a yard on the play. Ran 15 yards to get the 1.
If he had got that block from the wideout over there, he may have gone a long ways.
Well, again, we are dealing with people. Officer?
They can't see, sir. We can't see. Y'all see what?
So Phoebus has called a timeout, and they still have 1:02 remains on the clock.
But you know what? If he's standing up there, it's not going to help. He told me to clear the whole room. Well, he's got to sit down.
Oh, he doesn't have to.
Oh, he paid the ticket. This guy paid a ticket.
We just may have to stand up.
It may end up to be where we're going to have to stand up.
Yeah, the seats are wet, and some of the stands are standing. So
I mean, it come down.
Understand that.
It come down in gale force winds, and it looked like a monsoon out there for about 15 minutes, and finally it stopped.
I think I got some. During the break, I'll get him some stuff to wipe off his seat. Here you go. There you go.
Second and 10 now, Phoebus.
Appreciate it, man.
Look out. Uh-oh, they're calling that a backwards pass.
I was busy getting the man's paper towel to wipe off his
The referee actually was signaling a backwards pass. Now they're going to bring it back. So Dozier gave us the wrong signal.
Oh, that was a backward pass.
And he had his arm straight out to the back like it was a backwards pass, but he put the ball back on the line.
Yep. So
that's a
one
gift
for each team.
That's a gift right there.
Yeah, because there was a situation earlier that could have gone that way as well.
Third down and 10.
So a big third down here for the Phantoms as the ball going out of bounds stopped the clock with 55 seconds remaining. And again, Ward has had no time at all to throw. He does throw downfield now, and it is intended for Lewis right through his hands. Lewis was well covered. No less than 3 Braves surrounded him, but he couldn't bring it down as that was not a badly thrown ball by Ward, especially under the conditions. Ward finally got a little bit of time and threw it up. And Lewis was there. He was surrounded by 3 Brave defenders, and it went right through his hands. And again, not making excuses, but the ball is very, very wet and slippery right now.
Absolutely. There was about 5 or 6 defenders standing there, too. That was a very dangerous pass to be throwing.
Well, you know, when you're looking at 3rd and long, if they had intercepted it, they would have had to go 90 yards. So it was one of those calculated situations. So the Phantoms will be in deep punt formation. Last
Whitaker
time,
again.
Whitaker had some difficulty. This time it's
straight up
in the air.
Barely made the line of scrimmage.
In fact, takes a backward bounce.
It looks like that's going to be a punt good for about 3 yards.
About 3 yards. Yep. Well, again, not making excuses, but the wind is howling, and that one just went straight up and came straight down. So the Braves with a little more than half a minute remaining and no timeouts.
Well, with their passing game, though, 34 seconds is a long time.
Can be. So they're going to get the ball back in good field position at their 46. Now, if you're Cadillac Harris, do you think about trying a long pass?
I'd be going for it right here, no doubt. I mean, they're in the middle of the field. They're, 4 yards shy of the 50. I wouldn't hesitate.
You just don't want a
point.
momentum changer, that's all.
I don't know.
Let's see how they play.
I think if I was Cadillac Harris, well, he's going to just...
he's just going to take a knee, and the Phantoms could burn their other 2 timeouts, but I know they won't. And that will, in fact, be the final play.
They do not have to run another one.
They started the play clock with 25 seconds. So that will be the final play of the first half, as the Indian River Braves have taken it to the Phantoms in the first half and lead at halftime by the score of 14-3. We'll return to Hickory High School in Chesapeake, Virginia with the 3rd quarter of action after this brief timeout. Indian River 14 and Phoebus 3. Back here at Hickory High School, Tim Cole along with Mike Hauser, filling in for Bob Hintz, who is on vacation in Austria. The Phantoms have not played well. The big picture here is we talked about it before, and you see the stats. You hold Elan Lewis down, and you can control the game. And 15 carries, 44 yards is the stat for Elan Lewis at halftime. There you see the statistics. You would think Phoebus is winning 14-3 with 8-2 in the first downs. They've got 81 yards rushing. Indian River with 109. No passing yardage for either team. 0 for 7. That says 0 for 30, but actually it would be 0 for 3, I believe, for Indian River with no interceptions. Punt returns, none of those. Sacks, none. Fumbles lost. Big story there. Phoebus 2 fumbles, lost both of them. Indian River did lose 1 fumble, but the stat that's not on there is the blocked punt that ended up for a touchdown in the end zone, which made this a 14-3 game instead of a 7-3 game. And, of course, the other touchdown was a quick 94-yard scamper by Brandon Orr, and that led to the other touchdown that Indian River has done. So the time of possession, 16-12, 7:48. If you look at those stats, Mike, you would think, well, Phoebus is either winning or ahead at least.
Well, we talked earlier in the game about the fact that the team that's going to control the ball would win this game. Well, Phoebus has, by virtue of looking at the stats, has controlled the game, with the exception of 2 plays.
2 plays.
2 plays has been the kicker in this game. You block punt, touchdown, 94-yard run on an off-tackle play where they had their wide receivers set out wide to the left. Phoebus' defense had everybody to the left side of the line. There was nobody on the right side of the line, and when he got through the line, Brandon Orr went 94 yards straight up the line, right up the sideline, and it was virtually untouched. They couldn't catch him. Nope. He was gone. So because of those two plays, 14-3 is our halftime score.
Now you see the teams coming back on. That is Indian River immediately in front of you, and they have been back, and Phoebus just now returning to the field as the
rain has stopped.
Rain
finally.
has stopped, and the wind is still whipping.
It looks like it's running straight across the field into Phoebus's face at this point. So it's a crosswind now,
which will be just as difficult to deal with as one in your face or one to your back, because it just totally disrupts the passing game.
Well, Phoebus had a 3-yard punt in the second quarter that could have been disastrous, but if it wasn't for the fact it was late in the second quarter and Indian River elected just to run the clock out, that if that had happened earlier in the quarter, that could have been a disastrous situation. That's a direct cause by the wind blowing as hard as it was.
Now, one of the factors we don't know is, because we're unfamiliar with this field, is how difficult the footing will be after what has been a substantial amount of rain. And it happened quickly. Now, whether this field drains or
it came down. It was almost like somebody was on top of us throwing buckets down. And with that wind blowing as hard as it looked like a hurricane, because the players were even holding themselves, keeping from falling over. It was rough for about 10 minutes.
I know earlier before the game started, an hour before the game, when I did the pregame interviews, it was buffeting me, and I'm no little guy, and it was actually causing me to have to reset my footing to keep from being.
What was it you called the three of us sitting up here early?
The heavyweight champions of broadcasting.
Oh yeah, you got 900 pounds of meat sitting up here.
This is correct. They gave Samuels credit.
But one of the keys here, I think, in the second half is they're going to have to hold the ball, obviously, but somehow or another, the offensive line for the Phantoms is going to have to open up some holes for Lewis. And right now, the speed and the blocking technique that Indian River is playing right now is winning the line of scrimmage.
I think that's a very good observation, Mike. That would be my opinion as well. So if we're right, we're both right. But I agree with you. Phoebus, in their victories, has controlled the line of scrimmage. And they've been able to seal the end, for example, and let Lewis get around the end and break a long run.
This game really reminds me a lot of the first Hampton-Phoebus game, where Hampton's line is a smaller line by size than Phoebus is, and Hampton dominated they did the same thing that Indian River's doing right now. Phoebus has got to find a way now to open the holes up, and I think as Mike Smith from Hampton and Bill D of Phoebus are very famous at doing, making the corrections at halftime to make the changes.
That will tell the story. And a big run back almost to the 45-yard line.
Took it from the 11.
So the Braves continue to do well on special teams as well. Just a final thought on the first half. The last 5 carries by Lewis has resulted in a total of 4 yards.
Yeah.
So those are numbers that Lewis is not familiar with.
Well, that was a 34-yard return on the kickoff, and that really sets up the Braves right at 45-yard line. They're in business right now to start the second half, and Phoebus' defense has got to come up big here.
I'll see how it rolls out, rather. The Braves on offense, Parker under center, or the lone setback, Brandon Orr. He was a big factor in the first half. Phantoms were in the neutral zone but got back before the ball was snapped. This is Orr, and he got to the corner only to pick up maybe a yard.
Well, I'll tell you what, something happened in that play that's really interesting. Phoebus's defensive end jumps, but in the meantime, Indian River's wide receiver over here broke his stance and turned to the referee and was complaining, so he was also moving.
Yep. But not a penalty on the play.
No yellow flags on the field.
Or are there now?
No.
Nope.
Cadillac Harris is down here wanting to know why there wasn't a flag called, but there wasn't, so we'll continue. Second down.
No gain on the play, and now trips, well, four wide receivers, and now confusion in the backfield. As you can see, Parker, along with number 34, John Ford, getting set. Parker back to pass, has some time, throws in the flat here, and it's over the intended receiver's head. That was number 11, Deandra Filer, who was instrumental in the first half for the Braves as he blocked the punt that ended up for a touchdown, and then later on recovered a fumble, or created and recovered a fumble.
That could have been a pick call right there, because the outside receiver cut in front of the Phoebus player to block the pass. It's a very, very close situation there as far as it being an illegal a pick by an offensive player.
Third down.
We don't see that call too often, though.
3rd down and 10 for the Braves. 10:53 left in the third quarter. Just underway here in the second half. Tim Cole, Mike Hauser, and Bob Killen coming to you from Hickory High School in Chesapeake. Out of the gun. Parker has some time, now steps up and has some running room and decides to run with the ball, but will not get enough for a first down as he crosses midfield to about the 49-yard line.
Looks like a gain of about 6, maybe 7, depending on where they mark it. And we'll see it again.
Had plenty of time. The offensive line did a good job of giving him protection. He decided to run.
That was a defensive play right there.
Yep.
The defensive backs for the Phantoms stopped them, had very good coverage in the backfield, and it kept them from getting a shot at a pass.
So 4th down and about 4.
That's Lester James.
Yeah, Lester James. And we've seen he was very successful running kicks back against Hampton.
Well, now we're going to see the Braves kick the ball into the wind here in the third period.
Low snap. Kick is away. And kind of held up by the wind, and the rain, by the way, has returned. Get a nice phantom roll all the way back to the 38 or 39-yard line. There is some rain still kind of coming down in sheets, but not nearly like it was earlier.
It's like a mist, heavy mist at this point.
And that's
funny,
a welcome.
You got compared to what it was, it's definitely welcome. Well, they got good field position to start off here in the third quarter.
Got the wind at their back. They'll set the ball at the 39-yard line for the Phantoms, almost the 39, between the 38 and 39. So Ward is under center. Out of the tight backfield, gives to Lewis, and Lewis bulls his way out across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 5, almost 6 yards, depending on the final spot.
Well, the offensive line did the job there. It looks like we got somebody still down on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like at least one Phantom shaken up on the play. It is not Lewis, as he is standing over the young man. Well, I'm still unable to determine who that might be. Actually, it's the two players might have gotten their helmets locked.
Got their helmets locked up.
Yep, so good. We're glad to see
for
that.
The Phantoms and 35 for.
Glad to see it wasn't an injury, but in fact it was helmets that had locked up, and that neither player could get up off the ground. So a gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5 for the Phantoms. They trail 14-3. Now the Crabbers led twice in that game last week, and the Phantoms came from behind to win that game, and they'll have to do that here if they wish to advance. And now, again, some confusion, and the Phantoms have to burn the first of 3 timeouts here in the second half.
Well, this is a key drive for the Phantoms at this point. They've got to put something on the board now. They need to reestablish themselves at this point. In the first half, they really struggled a lot.
Want to mention to you that the second half is brought to you in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue in Hampton. Give them a call for more information. Call Nancy Staten, the manager, at 827-4670. And also brought to you by Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard, Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda. And also Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. Zooms with that premium Citgo gas. Great food. Zooms. All right, the Phantoms now looking at a 2nd down and 5 after the timeout. That gives them 2 remaining. Into the middle of the line. This is Marcus. No, check that. That is Lewis, in fact.
Looks like he's close to a first down.
Right at the marker, depending on the spot.
2 plays identical to each other, right straight up the middle. Follow the blockers.
Let's see where they marked the forward progress.
And if he gets, and he did.
And they did. They will move the chains. So the Phantoms in no panic mode here at all. There's plenty of time left in this game. You know, Bob Killen and I were talking in halftime. And a lot of things can happen in the second half. They're only down by 11 points, and that's with the 8-point possibility on a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. It's 2 scores. This is Lewis.
Goes Lewis.
And Lewis is close to another first down. May have gotten it depending on the spot.
And he's right at the line now. Let's see where they put the ball down. If it's right there, that's good for the first down. Yep. 10 yards
that will
again.
After the 10-yard gain by Lewis, starting to assert himself a little bit now. That's his 16th carry.
Well, you were saying his last 5 or 4 runs of the second half netted 4 yards.
Last 5 runs netted 4 yards.
Well, he's run the ball 3 times here in the second half for 21 yards. So that's improvement from the way he ended the first half.
Ward gives up the middle, and you can go to that well just so many times.
And that was Samuels he handed off to that time.
This time the Braves defense was ready and allowed just back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, the defense right now is stacking the line. They've got 10 players up there. They're pulling their linebackers in, and they got 1 defender over here on the single wide receiver that the Phantoms have. But you'll watch when they get ready to snap the ball, all the linebackers and everybody's going to move right up to the line, including the safety has done it.
2nd and 10. Ward has some time to throw.
He's open if
he's got Dustin Johnson.
It's complete.
He's got it.
He's in.
Touchdown.
Absolutely perfect pass. He led him just enough.
40-yard touchdown pass with 7:43 left in the third.
And look at it again.
Led him perfectly.
Well, that'll bring them back into the game. It looks like they're setting up to go for 1 here. I guess it's a little early to worry about going for 2. Don't tell them they are. Phoebus Phantoms have called their 2nd timeout.
Well,
now they're doing what Indian River did to start the game. Maybe that's an omen.
If you're a Phoebus fan and the same result occurs that did for the Braves in the first half, then you don't mind if they burn up the timeout.
Yeah, it's an omen.
But I think this is a real important point, and I was listening to a college game this afternoon on my way home, and they were talking about when one should go for 2. You know, do you do it too early? And it was in that Colorado-Nebraska game.
Yep.
And it made the margin later on a 9-point difference because of 2 missed extra points that the team went for 2 and missed those, and it would have been a touchdown.
Didn't Nebraska intercept both of those passes?
Yeah. So, you know, you really have to be careful about going for 2. But you know what? It looks like they're going to go for 2. And if they do that, it will make it a field goal difference. And you've got Chris Schwartz, who has already demonstrated he can kick a good field goal,
35-yarder he kicked was past the goal pole by 20 yards minimum.
It would have been good.
Of course, he had
40.
the wind behind him. It was a boomer.
That'll be another factor. This wind will be a factor. But right now, 2-point conversion time. Ward with a long count. Fakes to Lewis. Swings it in the end zone, and it's picked off. And it's no good.
What we just got through talking about.
Yep.
He threw it right to him.
Marcus was the intended receiver on that play.
The receiver. The receiver was a little bit better open, but he threw a line drive pass to him instead of lofting it over his head. I believe if he had lofted it over his head, he probably would have been a completed pass.
So the two-point conversion is no good, and our difference now is 5 points, 14-9. And we'll have to see now if this has the result of giving a momentum change after the Phantoms are able to come out and score relatively easily here in the third period.
Well,
the rain has returned.
Elin Lewis ran the ball straight up the middle 3 or 4 times there and gained a lot of yards. He had 21 yards on 3 carries, and it kind of opened it up a little bit. And when they actually opened up the pass with the run that time.
Yep. Schwartz will kick
that's almost like an onside kick type of kick.
Yeah, and it was kind of an interesting with the wind at your back. You don't go for the long kick.
The problem is they're going to end up with excellent field position as he's being tackled at the 35.
Yep.
So every time that the Phoebus is kicked off, they've ended up with excellent field position.
With the wind at their back, I'm somewhat surprised.
He's got a foot. I'm real surprised he's not letting loose with it.
He stood 3 yards from the ball. He just took 2 steps and kicked it like they were going for the pooch kick. In any event, we'll see how this works out. The Braves have it at their 35-yard line. The rain has returned, but not nearly with the fierceness that it was coming down in the first half.
Well, I believe the wind's still blowing as hard, though. That flag is still sitting straight out, so the wind may be a factor here. Obviously, Indian River's passing game has been affected by it, and there's something that we haven't seen in the first half.
We have not seen that all game long, as Orr being thrown for a big loss. They got to be careful about too much celebration.
That was Cyrus Francis up the middle, and he didn't allow him to get anywhere. He lost. I don't even think he got back to the line.
No, that was a loss on the play. And Cyrus Francis consumes a lot of territory. He's 6'3", 300 pounds.
And he's quite wide.
Yes, he is. Takes up the space of 2.
Holes.
But that is a 4-yard loss.
A little bit of running around and shaking your fist at the end of the play.
Got to be real careful about that.
They were warned about that in the pregame flip of the coin. So,
yep. Man in motion to the near side. Parker rolling, looking, has some time. Now throws downfield, has a man open, contact, and penalty flag.
The ball's over his head. I can't see a flag because everybody's standing up in front of me.
And the rain has returned
but I tell you what,
with a vengeance.
Everybody here thought it should have been one, but we couldn't see it. Maybe they'll show a replay and we can give you our judgment on it.
In any event,
it's an incomplete pass, no flag was thrown.
Don't see one, but we can't see the field anyways. So it's going to be 3rd down and 14.
You notice all the referees have their rain jackets on now.
Yeah, I can only imagine why. But the rain has resumed, and it continues to have a factor in this game.
Right now, the wind is blowing, but it's not the gale force that we had earlier.
Trips to the near side. Out of the shotgun, Parker.
4 wideouts.
Parker gets the snap, steps up in the pocket, has some running room.
That's what they got to stop. They got to stop the running up the middle.
And they do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did he take a lick just before he got to the 1st down marker?
I believe he's about a half a yard shy of the first down.
That was Stephen Moss. Stephen Moss, who put the hit on him and apparently will end up a yard short of the 1st down. Watch this. This is a great job of scrambling with the ball by Parker. And he's coming right at you, and it looks like he's going to get some good yardage. But right there, he is met by Moss, and Moss prevented the 1st down. Now Indian River's going to take a timeout.
Indian River thought they had the 1st down. I'd like to see the play again and see where he got hit.
He got hit right where they marked it. That was a good mark. He did not get to the 45-yard line. We have that on replay again. We'll show it.
There's Cadillac Harris wanting to know why the ball's not past that yard marker.
All right,
let's see if he made it.
Watch this. There's
perfect
a 40.
Opportunity to see it.
And here he comes now, and boom.
Look at his feet.
His feet.
Yep.
Just got to the to that marker. So that might have been, I can't tell exactly where they've marked the ball, but it was marked a yard short of the 45. So Cadillac Harris may have a bit of a gripe there.
One of the coaches out there is not too happy, and that's not Harris that's doing the arguing, but one of the coaches was not pleased with the spot.
And you know something? I think they have a case.
It's 4th down at this point.
That ball appeared to be closer to the 45 than the 44, but they're marking it at the 44.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, that's
he was
a bad
at least a half a yard past that, at least.
A questionable spot. So it's going to be 4th down and a little more than a yard.
Looks like the first down looks like it may be about the length of a football past the 45.
John Ford will stand at his 30-yard line and gets the kick away. It's a line drive.
I can't even, there it is. I couldn't even see the ball.
And it takes a Phoebus bounce at their 29-yard line.
Yep.
So the Phantoms will have it.
They got a break
by
on
5.
that play.
Yep. Yeah, that was a questionable spot. I won't say it was a bad spot, but it looked to me like he got to the 45. It still wouldn't have been a first down because he needed to cross the 45 to get the first down, but it was seemingly his forward progress was further than they gave him the spot. And those, those things get to be real crucial when you figure they have to punt the ball. Now Phoebus gets the ball back. And now we've got
a whole bunch of whistles.
Yeah, we got some people talking to people there. Let's see what.
Looks like we may have a
false start against the Phantoms. So we're going to have to rely on our monitor.
Right at the snap, we have a dead ball foul. False start against the offense. Remains first down.
That was nice and clear by our referee, Bill Dozier.
And we'll have to rely on that shot that you see because all the fans now have not only stood up but have raised their umbrellas in front of us. So we are
We're seeing the same thing they are.
That's right.
Got a timeout now being called by the officials. I'm not real sure exactly.
I think they're discussing the spot, but it's pretty clear. It was at the 30. It was at the 29. Now it's going to be the 24. So we're set to go. Again, the rain intermittent. Not quite as bad as it was.
If we can get Bob to back up a little bit so we can see.
This is Lewis struggling to get to the corner, and he picks up a couple of yards, and that's about all. I understand, but we got to see too. So it's a nice stadium they've got here at Hickory, but unfortunately they did not build a press box above the rows that are seating the fans in front. So when they stand up, you can't see. There you see, that is the press box, and you see the umbrellas, and these folks paid their money. They want to see the game. I don't blame them for that either. Second down and about 11 after the 4-yard gain by Lewis.
That's Lewis going in motion.
Lewis coming in motion to the near side. Back to the live action. Not much happening there. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard, but that's all. And that was Ward keeping the ball as Lewis was in motion.
He took the snap and he stood up like he was going to get rid of the ball, but the offensive line at that point did not stop the on charge of the defensive line, and they got to him before he had a chance. That looked like that was one of those real quick passes out of the right out of the snap, but Ward never had a chance.
Never got the pass.
He's going to have to get back away from that line in order to have a chance of throwing that pass.
With the wind at their back, 4:38.
Third and 10 now.
Flare pass near side, almost picked up.
Almost dangerous.
As it was over the head of Lewis.
And that was number 33 for the Indian River Braves, Adrian Ashford. And if he had been looking at that ball, that would have been 6 points.
Yes, Matt Wright out there on the pattern as well. There you see it on your replay.
And he knows it too.
Dangerous pass. So it's going to be fourth down in a kicking situation for the Phantoms.
Well, they got the wind at their back, so hopefully he'll be able to get a decent punt off here.
Well, again, that ball is going to be as slippery as a greased pig, too, with all the rain and everything that's coming down. So we'll see how this works out. Already cost the Phantoms one touchdown on a
Mark Whitaker punting.
Gets a high snap and just got it away.
Got a good bounce. He's back to his, 31?
That's Page.
He kind of trapped at that point, so he just had to go down.
Antoine Page.
Good coverage.
Here's the replay, and you'll see it was kind of a line drive, but he stepped back and
let it drop. I believe he'd have got a lot of yards if he'd gone out to the ball.
Yeah.
But by the time the ball came down after it bounced, the special teams play by the Phantoms were there ready for him. He ends up picking up about 4 yards on the return.
35-yard line is where the Braves will have it. They lead by 5, and we have 4:18 remaining in the third period.
So we still have 4 minutes to go, you're saying, in the with the wind.
That's basically what it boils down to. But the wind has not really helped the team who's had the wind at their back so far.
No.
This is Orr as he picks up good yardage out across the 40 to about the 40.5-yard line.
It almost looks like the Phantoms are overrunning the ball. Watch it look like they overrun it. No, they didn't. He was outside of them.
So a gain of a little more than 5, second down for the Braves. As you look at the sideline and the discussion between the coaching staff, and that's Orr, who is out of the ball game right now. They're starting tailback. And got a new quarterback in there as well. Yeah, that's a Filer. Filer playing the role of the quarterback on that play.
He's a sophomore.
Brings up third down and almost 4. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, one of the things, kind of like Harris said in your pregame, he said he likes to move it around and let everybody have their hand on the ball, and that's what he's doing right now. He's got different personnel in there, and he's trying to make a change because right now Phoebus has taken advantage of it in this half, and they've been able to stop him. So maybe Harris thinks it's time to make a change here and make a change there, and maybe that'll.
Well, Filer is listed as a QB/DB, and he is under center right now.
He's the one that got the block punt, too, by the way.
This is Orr, and Orr does a nice job to get outside and picks up the first down as he is out.
A lot of missed tackles on that play.
A lot of missed tackles to midfield and across midfield into Phoebus territory. So Brandon Orr, who came into the game as a 1,000-yard rusher this year, picks up the first down at midfield. As you watch the replay, did a good job of being hit there and then keeping those legs driving. We're so used to seeing Lewis doing that for the Phantoms, and now the premier runner for the Braves, Orr, demonstrates his abilities as well. Ball squarely marked at midfield, and again, Filer continues to be the quarterback.
Oh, he got hit hard. Oh, he was decked.
And a flag goes down. A couple of flags
came in there in a hurry, too. I want to see that just to see who hit him. Because he got – that might be a flag against Phoebus for unnecessary roughness.
No, I don't see how that would be.
Was that number 51 that made that tackle?
Yeah. But
holding.
Yeah, that was a good clean hit.
That was Anthony Robinson. He just – watch him hit him.
Just a good hit. So the holding call will back up the Braves. 2:06, the clock moving here in the third period.
Well, that's essentially an 11-yard penalty because look at where the ball is. But the guy on the yardstick has got it on the yard marker. I can't figure that out.
I know. I mean, even I can see that difference. Filer over the middle.
That ball was coming out sideways.
Almost picked off
sideways.
Almost picked off by one of the Phantoms. Got tipped, I think.
Could have been.
But that thing's as wet as it can be. See if we can see what happens here.
That was Lester James that almost came up with that.
No, it just came.
Look at the ball go sideways.
Like a top.
Now, that's an unusual looking pass. That's even worse than Billy Kilmer.
I was just going to say, reminiscent of the wounded ducks that Billy Kilmer used to throw. He took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, but it was at least wobbled. That one wasn't a wobble. That was a
spinner.
Spin.
That was like put a coin or bottle down on the floor and play spin the bottle.
And this is one of the few times they've had two backs back there.
Filer continues at quarterback. He did not have any passing statistics during the regular season. I don't know whether Parker's been hurt or what. This is a completed pass, and the Phantoms have played it extremely well. As long as they don't get overzealous in the tackling, they should have a fourth down.
Came up big there. That was a play they needed to have. I believe that was still second down.
That was Colin Newby.
Was there a flag down?
Yeah, there's a flag down back inside the 30-yard line, way back there. So
one over here, and I believe there's also one on the other side of the field. So we got two flags down.
Illegal shift.
Illegal use of the hands. So, which one do you take? We'll take the illegal use of the hands because that's a 10 or 15-yarder.
I believe it's 10.
That illegal shift is only a 5-yard. If it's illegal block in the back, it may be
we'll let them figure that.
That's what they get paid the big bucks for.
There you go. 1:36 time on the clock, and I keep reminding the fans about that because this is the time when the wind is in the face of the Braves, and in the fourth quarter, because they won the toss and deferred, they will have the wind to their back in the fourth. So still discussing the options, and I'm sure Bill D is weighing those options before making a final decision. Dustin Johnson is conferring with Bill Dozier.
They're going to decline the penalty, take the down.
It'd make it third down and about 20.
Third down, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll lose.
We have 2 fouls. We have an illegal shift against that team. That penalty's declined. We have a blocking the back against that team. That penalty's declined. It's third down.
They'll lose about 3 yards on the play.
Inbounds or out of bounds?
They lost 2 yards.
That was
on
Bill
the play.
Dozier that you could hear very clearly, the referee. So it brings up third down and 22.
A key play in the game right here.
I couldn't agree more. Stop him here, you can get good field position. This is Filer, and Filer has some running room, and he is stopped short of midfield, which was the original line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up a punting formation with 4th and 12 for the Braves. Watch this replay. You're going to see Filer kind of gingerly making his way around the backfield.
They look like the field is having an impact on how they're running too. You notice the way they're making their turns, or they're trying to keep from falling down.
So the Phantoms will
field, considering how much rain and wind we've had here, the field is in excellent shape.
Phantoms will send Lester James back in deep punt formation. John Ford standing at his own 35, and a good rush on the ball, but did not get any contact with it, and a good punt. It'll be rolled dead at the Phoebus 25-yard line. So this game has really settled down to be between the Phoebus 25-30-yard line and about the 40-yard line of the Braves. It really has been in the middle of the field ever since that touchdown by the Phantoms.
That was a 27-yard punt by the Braves.
Into the wind, not bad.
Into the wind, not bad. Yeah, granted, the wind's not blowing like it was earlier. I mean, it was straight out blowing. Now it looks like it's in waves at this point.
Yep. You can see the uniform on the official there just wavering in the breeze. So the Phantoms from the 25, and Lewis is wrapped up as soon as he got the football. Nice play by number 72, Ray Jennings, a big guy in his own right, 6'1", 285, a sophomore, and he was there to stop Lewis.
That's it.
Yep.
That guy took 87 and 64 both down.
Dominating the defensive side of the line. And that's the story so far, as Lewis has gotten some yardage, but by no means near his average. Ward has the pass for James. Lester James is tripped up.
Nice tackle there by number 10. That's Orr.
That had the opportunity to go for a big play.
If Orr hadn't been there to trip him up, he may have gone for a few yards.
And that was the final play of the third period. Watch this replay.
Watch him
had a
get
good
him
block
by the
there.
ankles. That's it.
And you know, the Phoebus player couldn't block him because he would have taken a bad block. It would have been a block in the back anyway. So it's just one of those plays. But we have played 3. And after 36 minutes of action, our score is Indian River 14 and Phoebus 9. We are going to pick a player of the game. Tell us again about that, Mike.
Yeah, we'll pick a player of the game. Actually, we'll pick 2, one on the offense and one on the defense for the Phantoms tonight. Each player is going to receive a trophy and a shirt. Trophy comes from Trophy World Incorporated, located in Hilton Village in Newport News. For all of your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World, 595-7354. Mention this announcement for special pricing.
And the shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call them at 594-0411 and talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
They'll be glad to print up any kind of shirt or paraphernalia that you'd like.
All right, fourth quarter, do or die.
The Phantoms were the only ones to score in that quarter.
That's right. Do or die this fourth quarter. This is, of course, for all the marbles, the Eastern Region Championship and the right to host the state semifinals next Saturday. And
third down, what is it? Third and a long 6.
Third down and about 6, almost 7.
There's a long pass again. He's wide open.
Got a man open. Got it at the midfield mark.
That is number 4, Lester James.
Lester James, and he's got the Phantoms a first down at the 46-yard line. I always look around to make sure there's no yellow kerchiefs on the field. Watch the replay here.
That's a 26-yard pass play.
Young Aaron Ward starting to find his range here. He suffered miserably in the first half when the rain and the wind was so horrible. The wind has subsided a bit.
Well, that was a big play into the win, I'll tell
Huge
you, because
play.
now they got the ball 1st and 10 at Indian River's 45-yard line. And they're going to end up with too many people on the field, and he did, but they didn't throw the flag.
Just got off.
I thought they had to snap before he got off the play, but I guess the referee let it go.
Good-looking run there. Picks up 5, maybe 6, depending on the spot. Lewis got the call. 6 yards, 2nd down and 4. Lewis now in the contest has carried the ball 19 times for 70 yards. Again, no one has held him under 100 yards this season. 11:03 remaining in regulation. Handoff to Marcus Samuels, and he is stacked up with no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
He actually may have lost about a half a yard on that play.
Samuels in the game, 49 yards on 10 carries.
But a key fumble there, too.
Yep. And Aaron Ward has been held back. You know, I was talking about how successful he had been, 453 yards rushing the ball. He's only been able to carry for 4 yards, and he had a miserable first half with all the weather conditions as they were, and a good pressuring defense.
5, and it looks like Indian River is going to call timeout.
And they just got the timeout called. Apparently, they saw something that the defense was not the right defense for the play, and hurriedly called a timeout and got it. Again, we'll remind you that the winner of this game will host the state semifinals next Saturday afternoon. So that will be determined in about 10 minutes and 29 seconds of
If
game.
the Phoebus Phantoms win, they'll host it at Darlin Stadium. And I would assume at this point, if the Indian River Braves win, it'll be here at the Hickory High School. Don't forget now, the Math Zone is back on Channel 46. Check out the new feature, Teachers on the Run. Students can call in and get help with their math homework or solve the problem of the day. Tuesdays and Thursdays live at 5 p.m. on WHCS Channel 46. Also, check out Channel 46 Sports website at WHCS46.sportscombine.com. You will get up to date on all high school sports, especially in the Peninsula District. Links to all areas of the state and all districts. If you're interested in any kind of sport in the state of Virginia, go to Sports Combine site there and you'll pick it up.
3rd down and 5 after Samuels lost a yard. This is Ward running for his life, and he will not get back even close to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up a 4th down and long, and a decision time here for Bill D.
Well, I think he's going to punt the ball here away, and there's still 10 minutes to go in the game. I wouldn't think he'd take a chance at this point. We'll have to wait and see.
I'll tell you,
like the
Ward is
team
lumbering when he runs tonight. He just doesn't look as fluid as he has in the past. He really didn't, just hasn't really kind of gotten his legs going. He can be very elusive running the ball, as evidenced by 453 yards in 10 games.
I believe this is a different punter out there. Is that number 3?
I can't make out the number.
That would be Aaron Ward. Is it fake? No.
It is Aaron Ward, and it's a yep, and it got a good roll on it.
Goes outside, just inside the 20.
So not as good a pinning punt as they had hoped to get. They wanted to put him back inside the 10 and get field position here. But nonetheless, now this game is in the hands of the Phoebus defense.
Well, that's one of the things that I really don't think that Coach D wanted this game to be boiled down to the defense.
Nope.
He wanted the offense to be able to put enough points on the scoreboard to take care of that problem. But now the defense is going to have to come up big. 9:37 to go in the 4th quarter and down by 5 points. So it's going to have to tighten up big time here.
They marked the ball right on the 20-yard line. So it's as if it went into the end zone, but it didn't. It went out of bounds at the 20. Filer continues to be the quarterback, and no gain on that play.
That was an excellent play by the Anthony Robinson, number 51, as he made that tackle, as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
That was Brandon Orr for no gain. So, again, Phoebus hasn't scored on the defense yet tonight. The difference in this game is a blocked punt by the Braves of Indian River. Phoebus looking to get the opportunity to three-peat as looked like one of the Braves.
They're going to get a 5-yard penalty for leaving just a hair early that time. So that's going to help out a lot for the Phantoms. Ball start.
Prior to the snap, dead ball foul, false start against the offense, 5 yards, main second down.
Every yard so crucial at this point, and you're down by less than a touchdown.
Especially this deep in your own territory.
Yes, sir. Got the wind to their back.
But they haven't been that successful in the air tonight. I mean, with 1,500 yards plus passing during the season.
There's only one game that comes to my mind under the most horrible conditions for a passing quarterback in high school, and that was when Curry performed the miracle win up in Virginia Union. This is Filer as he runs the ball out to about the 28-yard line, 28-yard line. It'll bring up a third down, and let's see where they mark it exactly. We need to get to the 30, 23, 22-yard line, about third down and 8. And we've got an official stoppage of play for a moment. And they're going to make the player who was slow to get up, that was 77, Cyrus Francis.
He was
going to
make him leave. Tackle too.
Yeah. He was slow to get up, and so if
key play right here.
If he didn't go out, they'd have to burn a timeout. Third down.
They only have one left, too, so they can't afford it. And now we can't see again.
Third down and 6. Have to rely on the monitor over here, I'm afraid. Long count. Filer gives to Orr.
Good play.
He gets to the 25, and that's all.
And that, again, is number 51, Anthony Robinson, that made that stop. And that might be the play they needed right there. 7:55 to go in the
fourth quarter.
And I tell you what, Anthony Robinson has been all over the field tonight.
He certainly has. He's a prime candidate for one of our players of the game. And now the kicking team won't.
Yeah, there he goes.
Ford likes to go up and have a chat with everybody, make sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be. Here's the count, guys. So
Lester James is back deep to receive the punt. Oh, and that's not a very good kick considering he's got the win.
And it takes a sideways bounce, so it doesn't even get to midfield. So the Phantoms will have it at the Indian River 47-yard line, 46-yard line.
That goes as a 21-yard punt. That's not very good when you've got the wind at your back.
And interestingly, Mike, when I was talking with Coach Harris before the game, he kind of had a smile on his face. We're talking about kicking game could be crucial in this thing, and he kind of intimated at least that he might have that edge because he felt like he had a better kicking game than the Phantoms, and maybe he does, but it hasn't been necessarily demonstrated tonight. As they get the ball at the 46, trailing by 5, this is a crucial series for the Phantoms. Pitch to Lewis. Lewis tried to get the corner and tripped up after a yard. I'm telling you something, take your hats off to Indian River. Their defense has played extremely well. Adam Blunt.
That was Anthony Page and Jason Riddick on the stop that time. What did he get, a yard?
A yard is all he got.
They came up to the line real fast, too. They wanted to try to get something going before the defense could get set, but it didn't work.
Aaron Ward and a tight backfield. And a handoff right up the middle. Close to the 40-yard line.
It's going to be close to 5 on that one.
That was Lewis. Young man has carried the ball 21 times now for 76 yards.
Well, you got a gentleman back there that's rushing for that. He's getting 5 yards at a click, but he's used to getting 10
6
plus.
Yeah, I mean he averaged each carry 8.8
during the season.
Yep. Hey, you know what? You play at a different level when you get to this round.
This might be a situation where we might be at 4 downs here.
Ward won't have to worry about it on this play as he is very close to the first down.
Well, if he gets it to the yard mark, he may have it.
He's got it at the 35-yard line. So I would say that is a first down, and Bill Dozier indicates.
Got to see where they're going to mark it now.
No, he marked it and already moved the sticks.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. First down, good. At the
35-yard line.
Braves 35.
Yep.
So the Phantoms are on a run here. There's still 5:50 to go.
Coming down to crunch time. This is Lewis, and Lewis picks up a couple. Grinding it out. This has been, if you're not familiar with the Phantoms, this has been their modus operandi all year long. We've got a young man who rushed for more than 22, almost actually over 2,300 yards in the season. And he gets the ball 35 to 40 times every game.
Well, you got to give Indian River credit because they're doing a job stopping him.
They have done an outstanding job on defense to shut down the running game of the Phantoms. 2nd down and 8. Ward wants to pass, throws, got hit just as he threw it. It's up for grabs, and it is incomplete.
Tell you what, number 21 for Indian River had a interception on that one.
Holder had it, and quite frankly, Dustin Johnson became a defender on that play.
He was hit as he was letting go of the ball. He had the position.
That was a job where Holder had the interception. Johnson actually became the defender on the play to break it up.
Well, here's a critical play again, 3rd down and 9.
Yep. 5:10 remaining in regulation. Phantoms need a 1st down. Ward back to pass, swing pass near side, just out of the reach of Elon Lewis. So now Bill D and his coaching staff will have to decide what to do.
Now, Phoebus has two timeouts left still. I'm not sure. Do they want to go on it 4th down and such long to go? Or do they want to punt the ball and try to get him inside the 10 again? Looks like they're going to go here for it.
Looks like they will, and I think it's the right play. And the reason I do is even if you don't angle it just right, you end up with the ball at the 20 instead of the 30. So why not go for it? They need to get to the 20. The Phantoms do. Ward, play action, looking to throw, up for grabs. Incomplete. Just as good as intercepting. In fact, better than intercepting the ball because you get it back up here. So with 4:57 remaining, the Phantoms give the ball up on downs and now have to have any chance to win the game. They've got to force a turnover or stop them on defense.
Rely on the defense now. They have 2 timeouts left. The last couple of throws that Ward's made have been extremely wobbly. He's just putting the ball up in the air.
Very fortunate that wasn't
move
picked up.
there. Yep. By Indian River to knock it down instead of try to intercept it, because that ball would have been inside the 10.
So from the 34-yard line, Indian River now with a 5-point lead and the ball. And some fresh jerseys in the backfield. That's number 33, and Andrian Ashford, who has played a little bit in the ball game. 33 carried the ball.
Adrian Ashford.
Mine is Andrian.
Okay.
That's why I'm struggling with it. It's Andrian. In any event, Mr. Ashford picked up a yard. Maybe a yard and a half. Clock continues to move as Indian River wants to consume as much time as possible. This is Brandon Orr, and he moves to the outside. He's got some running room.
Nobody there.
He bounced to the outside, and the Phantoms will do well to keep him from the end zone, and they do not. He scores. '64 yards, excuse me. I get it right yet. 64 yards.
64 yards on the run. That might be the clincher, gentlemen.
Well, boy, how prophetic was the comment about the big plays. He was stopped by the pack there, but as so often is the case, if you can break to the outside, and Orr demonstrated his good speed and just outran the defender. Donathan Robinson was the last man who had a shot at him, but Orr made it count, and the extra point is up and good as the score now is 21-9 with just 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Indian River almost got it locked up. Excellent effort on their part.
Well, that was a play right there that really hurt. If you look at it again,
here it is again.
The defense had it bottled up in the middle right there, but you look at the offensive line for Indian River. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and It kept the defense bottled up in the middle, and he just swung out to the outside, and the rest is history.
So 2 big touchdown runs by Brandon Orr have given the Braves of Indian River a 21-9 lead with just 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. And it looks to me this might be just the second loss in 40 games for the Phoebus Phantoms.
There's exactly 4 minutes to go. They're going to have to score quick and fast.
Yep.
I mean,
and twice.
Real fast.
Quick, fast, and twice. You know, we talked about it off camera, and I'm not suggesting this is the case, but you have to ask the question about a possible letdown.
Oh, I was wondering when you were going to bring that up.
James Lester, or is that Lester James? I always want to reverse his name. It's Lester James.
Gets the ball out to about the 35, 36-yard line.
I don't, as good a coaching staff and as well coached as these young men are, I don't think there's the real opportunity for a letdown after the Hampton win. But there's always that possibility. It's so intense, and it was so important for them to beat Hampton to avenge that loss
one
early
of the things
season.
that I've saw in the Hampton game and also in this game here is when the Phantoms want to throw the ball, most of the time they try to throw the ball long down the sideline, and a lot of times the ball is as an example right there, he's open across the middle, and they weren't throwing to him. But this time, did he get a completed pass?
I believe so. I'm looking to see where they've spotted the ball, and apparently not, because they're going to bring it back to the line of scrimmage.
Pass.
Yep, couldn't tell on the far sideline. It was hard to tell. It looked like it was a completed pass at first. Thought he had it there, but apparently it came loose.
You notice that all of the passes are going to the outside, and the safety for Indian River he's playing safety now. He's 20 yards off the line.
Draw play to Lewis, and Lewis gets yardage, but more importantly for Indian River, the clock continues to move, and now we've got a player shaken up. Lewis is slow to get up and may have suffered a cramp.
I think his shoe fell off.
Oh, shoe came off.
He's trying to put his shoe back on.
Well, that's better because he won't have to come out for a play if that's the case. Lost the.
He's having a hard time getting it on. Well, we're down to 3:33 to go.
Clock was stopped temporarily. Now it's restarted.
Third down and 4?
Third down and 4. Ward over the middle, incomplete. Looking for the penalty flag.
Finally, the flag did come through. I thought he did, yes. Flag did come through.
Matt Wright, the sophomore tight end.
Let's see if we can see another replay on that. Now, I believe he got hit a little early. Here's the replay. Boom, he was being hit.
Hard to tell on the replay, but that's the call. The fans in front of us from Indian River don't agree, as you might well expect they wouldn't, but that will be the call.
Pass interference against the defense. It's 15 yards. First down.
Again, here's your replay.
Watch him. You'll see him change direction before the ball got to him. The ball may have actually been thrown behind him.
In any event,
either way, they ended up with a first down.
Yep.
Having officials time out because there's an equipment problem with one of the Indian River players. Of course, now we have to look at the monitor so we get to see what y'all are seeing because we can't see in front of us.
Again, you and I, Mike, have to be thinking about our player of the game, players of the game.
Well, I think that's a definite right there.
Yeah, I think so, too. That one's easy. I'm not sure about the other one. There you see the story. Indian River up 21-9 with 3 1/4 remaining. And now an official's timeout as Bill Dozier has gone over to the far sidelines to discuss something with Bill D and the Phoebus coaches.
Have it down front a little bit, fellas.
I don't think you're going to win that battle, Bob.
Well, let's see. We have a couple players we can look at. Even Elin Lewis, even though he didn't have the night that he had, he does have about 80 yards or so rushing. The other thing you might want to consider, too, is Lester James. He had that touchdown pass, so, he did get that in there when the ball got to him pretty good. So
actually, it was Dustin Johnson.
I'm sorry.
We might give it to Dustin Johnson.
I gave Lester James credit for it, though. But I'm glad you wrote it down.
Yeah, it helps.
Everything except for soft drinks is half price now.
So there's continuing.
We don't know what
problems
the time
with the chain. There's a chain gang issue. I'm not sure.
Well, there's also a guy. There's a guy being asked to leave. I guess he was one of the chain gang.
Oh, okay. I don't know. In any event, it is a first down for the Phantoms.
There's a look at. Is that Susan up there? I believe that's Susan Bowers, one of our
superb
camera women that is sitting up on top of the press box in that nice cold wind.
Chained to the fence, I understand. She and Nathaniel Braxton. Want to thank our crew. Great job under very difficult conditions.
Our young people up there on the cameras have done a tremendous job.
As always.
Ron Baton, Mike Nowinski, Nathaniel Braxton, and again Susan Bowers on our cameras. And of course we want to thank Andrew Foley with our graphics, as he's done as usual a outstanding job. Andre Mattingly again with our instant replay has done a good job too. Looks like we're going to start playing now. Down to 3:24 on the clock.
Yep.
First and 10.
First down for the Phantoms. As you said, Mike have to score and
there's
score
that screen
early.
Pass that still is being underthrown.
You're better off to just drop that pass than to catch it and drop
he's
to your
calling
knee.
an incomplete pass.
Because it stops the clock rather than let the clock run with no gain.
Every play that they have attempted on that screenplay has been underthrown.
It has. You're absolutely right. Watch this replay. You're going to see. Actually, the ball was tipped to his defense.
Okay.
Looked like one of the Braves got a hand on it. In any event, it is ruled an incomplete pass.
Well,
and brings
the
up
good thing
second
about
and
it is
10.
stop the clock. If they could score here and possibly get an onside kick, you never know.
No, this thing is
The
still up
game's
for
not
grabs.
over with.
It's slipping through their fingers as we speak, but they need to score and
Let's
do
hope
quickly.
they get a grasp of it here.
Out of the shotgun. Ward steps up in the pocket, throws, and the intended receiver slipped down in trying to cut back to the ball. And that was Dustin Johnson, I believe. No, that's Lester James.
Actually, Dustin Johnson actually got a little quick step over here, and he got lucky and didn't get called.
He did. I thought I saw some early movement.
The Indian River sideline, watch him. See him?
Yeah.
The Indian River sideline were pointing, but didn't get the advantage of the yellow flag.
And I think that was a missed call. I think you're absolutely right.
Here we go, third down. We're getting down to the brass tacks now.
Third down and 10.
That was a draw play that got
to Lewis.
stuffed.
Nothing. Give credit to the defense. They have played extremely well. John Ford, number 34, in there to just totally bust up that play as Lewis never had a chance. And now we will see them going for it on fourth down. There's no question they have to with 2:47, and the clock is running.
This is the first time all season that I think we've seen Phoebus's front line in the offense not be able to handle anybody. They're getting a lot of penetration. Look at the penetration they're getting.
Oh, yeah.
They're all
and
over
Ward
him.
is going to be
in
sacked.
deep trouble.
That's your ball game.
And we lost sight of it because everybody's standing up. But obviously it was a big loss, and Indian River's going to take it over. And by all means, I mean, all rights, the game basically at this point, time's over.
I think that is correct.
There's 2:29 to go, but it doesn't look promising at this point. Down 21-9.
You would be the eternal optimist to say there was even a chance at this point, because all they have to do at this point is just hold on to the ball.
Until that play.
Yeah, exactly
Actually,
right.
until the last two plays.
Yep.
That the draw play that got stuffed in the backfield.
And then that huge sack,
that
30-yard
was
sack.
about a 20 or 30-yard sack. That'll kill anybody.
That's right. Doesn't help his stats either. This is Brandon Orr. He has just been a thorn in the Phoebus side all night long.
2 long runs for touchdowns has been the key to this
94 yards and 64 yards, 158 yards on 2 touches for Mr. Orr. 2 touchdowns. And let's see what he has for the entire evening. Let me just check over Bob's shoulder here. 191 yards before that carry, and he's got 193 now. So So our players of the game for the Phoebus Phantoms are going to be number 51, Anthony Robinson.
He played a great game. He was in an awful lot of tackles. He's all over the field. He's the offensive center, and he had to go both ways tonight, and I think he was one tired puppy tonight. And that was a handoff, it looked like, to the...
That's Ashford who got the handoff.
Now we have to pick a player on the offensive side.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with Dustin Johnson. I
agree. He got the long touchdown pass and got him back in the game. And
could have been Chris Schwartz, too. 35-yard field goal kept him close, too, when they needed something at that point. But I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson. He's had a good season, as most of these Phantoms have had. And, unfortunately, they're going to see their record fall to 10-2.
This will stop a two-game run, or a two-season run of the state championship.
Yep.
And
there's a
line, looks like a tight end move. But this will be the first time in how many years that a Peninsula District team has not won a state title?
It'll be a while.
I mean, we can go back to Hampton in '96, and when I got it. Uh-oh, here we go again. He broke loose. Can he outrun him? And he does.
He does.
That definitely puts it in there. Well, I think the blocking schemes were the key to this game. On offense and defense, there was no doubt that the Phoebus Phantoms were outplayed on the line tonight.
That is Marcus Anderson, I believe. And again, I say that because we have a couple of number 26s on our score sheet or on our roster here. But there you see the jubilant side of the field for Indian River as they have really finished this one off 27-9. Bad snap on the extra point try is of no consequence at this point, as we've got 1:11 remaining in the ball game. But this will be an Indian River victory, and they will host next Saturday afternoon. They will host the semifinals of the Group AAA Division 5 championships, and then of course the finals will be held in Richmond.
That'll be against one of the Central Region teams. And if I'm not mistaken, that will be either Meadowbrook or Hopewell. Hopewell 10-1, Meadowbrook coming in, and I believe they just announced that Lansdowne had won the Division 6 regional final. So the Eastern Region Division 5 and Division 6 regional final winners are all from the South Side this year.
Yep.
And that is something that has not occurred in many a year. But the Phoebus Phantoms will be back next year, as will the Hampton Crabbers. Both of them are loaded. Both of them have a lot of young players. Elin Lewis will be back.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's only a junior.
And there's a key stat that has not been talked about in this game. Elin Lewis, if he scores a touchdown in this game, and it's not over with yet, this is him running now.
He's trying to
if he scores a touchdown in this game, he will be the all-time AAA leader in points. He needed 4 points, and he needs to have a big last 1 minute and 1 second in order to do it.
Let me tell you something, though. I want to take my hat off to Indian River. Yeah, he's just a junior, but let's take our hats off to Indian River.
This was one single season, though.
Indian River did what they had to do to win this game, and they did it beautifully on defense. They totally dominated, not totally, but they dominated the offensive line. They dominated the line of scrimmage.
If we look at the stats, though, I believe, with the exception of 2 long runs, Phoebus had more yards than they did.
Yeah, they may have.
They stopped them.
They stopped them when they had to. And that's the key.
And the Braves got a couple of long runs. Again,
and their defense is still
he's going to get a flag for face mask, probably jerking his helmet. But
55 seconds remaining.
guy that made the tackle. Yes, sir, the guy that made the tackle. Yeah.
That was Bill Dozier emphatically telling the Indian River sideline that the penalty was on the guy who made the tackle.
I thought he had his mask, Coach. That's what I saw.
I guess he forgot to take it off, cut it off. But anyhow, what I was saying is Elon Lewis needed 4 points in order to break the single season scoring total, not the overall total.
Yeah, Terry Kirby owns the overall, I believe.
Well, he owns the overall in the state of all divisions. But Ronald Curry for Hampton holds the AAA record for 40 touchdowns, and I believe it's 240 points. We were really hoping that this would happen tonight because that would have been a nice milestone.
Yep. Well, like you said, they'll be back.
They'll be back, and Elon Lewis has another year.
Yep, but I want to give credit again to Cadillac Harris from taking this team from 4-6 last year to the state semifinals of the Group AAA Division 5. This was no fluke. This win was no fluke. This team outplayed Phoebus.
We came in here really not knowing what kind of a team they are. Well, let me tell you something. Their defense has played a heck of a game.
Oh, they have. They absolutely have. Long pass downfield as the time expires.
That'll be it.
So the Phantoms are unable to three-peat or get a chance at it, but again, just their second loss in their last 40, but it came at the hands of Indian River. They played an excellent ball game, and they won it, and they deserved it.
Yes, no
Anthony
doubt.
Robinson is one of our players of the game, and Dustin Johnson is our offensive player of the game. As you see the two teams congratulating each other. Bill D in the center of your picture now. This game tonight brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the director. We want to take a moment and reflect on the season. Thank all of our sponsors for their support. Also want to congratulate the Hampton teams on the Peninsula District. All four teams very much in the running for the playoffs. The 7-3 Kickoff, 9-2, 10-1. I mean, they just dominated Peninsula District. But again, tonight, the Indian River Braves did what they had to do. They shut down Elon Lewis for all intents and purposes and won this game and deservedly move on to the state semifinals. So that's going to do it for us. For the Channel 46 crew, for Bob Killen and Mike Hauser, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good evening, everybody.